Okay, okay, enough with the remarks. All right, I'm here. Only a little 5 minutes fashionably late, really. As they say, the protagonist always comes a little late, right? It's fine. No, I'm just kidding. How you guys doing today? Nightwalker, Gito, thanks for popping by, guys. How you guys doing? Oh, shit. What are we on? 175. Deduction. DSV, how's it going, man? How you doing? All right. Okay, we'll start in a couple of minutes. I said 11 o'clock, so we'll just wait like 10 minutes. We'll not talk a lot. I'm on my phone. No worries at all, DSV. Philip, I don't believe I've seen you here before today. How you doing? Thanks for popping by. All right, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes because I said 11 o'clock my time I'll be starting on the Discord, and I don't want to start a little early in case someone's on the way. So, we're just going to fuck up Wordle and connections really quickly, and then we'll be done. Light, how's it going? Jin, thanks for popping by. How you guys doing? Droll. Oh, you're kidding me. T-R-E. T-R-A. Trady? For fuck's sakes. Okay. Tour. Oh, this is not good. So, T U R O. Oh, clutched it out. Let's go. Let's go. We hit those. Let's go. Okay. My workout. Oh, you're at the gym. I see. Gusto is to like in Spanish. Soy means am or soy in English. Just make sure the stream's looking okay. That looks okay. Good. Mustard, mayo, lemon, soy. No. Okay. What was that? What was I going for there? No fucking clue. Mine, coal, gold. I don't know, man. Oh, fuck. Okay. Connection. I suck at connections so bad, guys. It's not even funny. Grinch. Okay. We'll start at 10:55. Queen, how's it going? How you doing today? Okay. We'll start at 55. I'm just gonna. Gold reserve? What am I even going for? What does this suck so much? I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking. All right, look at that. We're making good progress. We should be at like the 180s today, and then we'll hit 200 in no time soon. The plan might I'm gonna have to check with Romero and Milos to see how I'm gonna do this, but apparently the last little bit of the volume 1 you really want to read together, so I'm gonna have to figure out what exact point I'm gonna have to stop at and just do a long ass stream. I have not seen To Be a Hero X. How is it? I've heard that it's decent, but how did you like it, Nightwalker? Okay, fuck. Let me just fuck this really quick and just start reading. I don't know, man. Whatever. I don't know. Sure. What is this? Okay, mine reserve store. Well, that one I should have gotten. To be Hero X is amazing. Oh, dope. Okay, that's good. I will, if it is, I will, anime of the season. Whoa, interesting. Have you guys seen Lazarus? I like as expected from Link Click. So, oh shit, it's the guy who did Link Click. I loved Link Click. Okay, I'll definitely check it out then. Yeah, I love that thing. Link Click was so good. The opening and ending sequence in particular of Link Click, I still remember. It was so good. The opening in particular, the ending was fine, but the ending, the opening was fantastic. Okay. 175, Deduction. Lanavis, that criminal who cheated both money and sex. To think that he had a connection to Hood Yugen from the Psychology Alchemist, one of the few Chinese people I trust. Okay, there's like over 1 billion people, so good to know he's in a very special club there. Klein froze for a moment when he heard the name. He immediately thought of the implications the name Lanavis had. He's the cheat that escaped with more than 10,000 pounds. Just providing a clue would earn me 10 pounds, and if I help in capturing this moving treasury, I'll earn 100 pounds. He's a scum that took advantage of bodies and feelings of innocent women. To think that he knows Hood Yugen and went to visit him 3 times in the mental asylum. Does this mean he's connected to the Beyonder Circle, or that he's a Beyonder himself? Klein suddenly recalled the name of the potion. The Marauder Sequence 8. Swindler. This Beyonder took pleasure in swindling others. It's very possible. Klein nodded and thought. He controlled his facial expressions and body language, feigning nonchalance when he asked, "Then when was Mr. Lanavis's last visit to Hood Yugen?" "Early July. I would have to check the registration records of the mental asylum to give you a specific date," said Daxter. Lanavis's scam had been exposed in early July, and he hadn't left Tingen. Does Hood Yugen mention this person usually? This sequence is really good. I'm here after almost blowing my hand up. What the fuck? What happened, Romero? You okay? No, you should understand that Sequence 7 Psychiatrist would never reveal something by accident. Every word they say has been deliberated over thoroughly. It would be impossible to learn their secrets unless they have some other hidden motives. I was only able to get the telepathist formula after Hood Yugen went mad. Right. Have you determined the authenticity of the formula? Daxter expertly hid his feelings of pride towards his pathways potions. Oh, fireworks. It's authentic, Klein laughed and replied. When you need to advance, you can use that to concoct your potion without worry. We can help if the psychology alchemists are unable to provide the ingredients. Also, how have you been lately? Not too bad. Other than a little worried about Hood Yugen's condition, I feel rather relaxed. I no longer have symptoms of a split personality. You've helped me greatly in this regard, said Daxter. Klein wore a humble expression. It's only right. Let's return to the topic at hand. Since you said the psychiatrist would deliberate over every word before uttering it and wouldn't reveal their secrets, why would Hood Yugen tell you that L is Lanavis? Was he hinting at something or trying to warn you if anything? Daxter froze for a moment, then creased his brows. This is really weird to think that I didn't notice. Other than that, Hood Yugen didn't mention anything else. Could this be the motive to tell the upper echelons of the association about the name Lanavis, should he meet any problems? The association's reaction seemed strange too. After I informed them of Hood Yugen's insanity, they did send a liaison, but after I described every detail, including Lanavis's name, there were no more replies from the upper echelon. It was like a stone being cast into the ocean. Could this mean they figured something out? I don't know. Now, instead of them firing in quick succession, at like the second one, they all blew up together, breaking my setup. Oh shit. I'm back at the drawing board. If we follow this deduction, Hood Yugen might have long anticipated that he would become insane or die. And this was an untenable connection with Lanavis. But since he already anticipated it, why didn't he ask for help from the upper echelons? Daxter gazed blankly ahead. Unfortunately, He's insane now. There's no way to effectively communicate with him now. One day he'll blow your arm off. Dude, you have to be careful. The fucking, what do you call it? You have to be careful with fireworks, man. Holy shit, you can really fuck yourself up. Milosh, how's it going, man? Milosh, Romero, we're gonna have to, I'm a cow. We're gonna have to talk later, because I'm gonna have to figure out when I have to stop reading and then just do a long stream, okay? I gotta figure that out for the end of volume 1. Like, where I need to stop and where I just need to do one big stream from. Dr. Z, thanks for popping by. How you doing? At the same time... Wait, hold on. Where was I? A reasonable deduction. Klein took out his demon hunting bullet and stuffed them into his revolver, then took aim at the target. Why would you use the demon hunting bullets? If we followed this deduction, Hoodyugen might have long anticipated that he would become insane or die. This has become an untenable situation with Lanavis, but he already anticipated it. Why didn't he ask for help from the upper echelons? Daxter gazed blankly. Unfortunately, he's insane now. There's no way to effectively communicate with him. Nightwalker, it'll just have to depend, man, for like what length is good and stuff. I'm genuinely thinking like I think the end of volume 1 is like 214, I think 215, something like that. So I can read from like 200 to 214. I could do 14 chapters. It'd obviously be a little rough, but I can do that. Any longer and we're reaching like, okay, my voice is just gonna give out halfway through, so like I don't know, but again, we'll have to see. So if we have to do like a we'll do like, I don't know, let's say 190 to 200 stream, then I'll take a break, and then we'll do like a 200 to 214 stream or something. I don't know. Later, like maybe I can do like a 190 or 195 to 200 stream in the morning, and then do like a 200 to 214 stream at night, because at night everyone's asleep, so I can do a long stream. Fuck it, everyone's already asleep. What's gonna happen? Yeah, so we'll figure that out. I don't know. Nagito? Yeah, thanks for popping by, Nagito. No worries at all. I appreciate you popping by at all, bud. Yes, Dr. Z, Romero had almost an accident with some fireworks. I have to go to my cousin's house. No worries at all, Nagito. Perhaps some kind of temptation made him choose to take the risk, Klein made a guess. At the same time, he felt that it was regrettable that Hoodyugen had really become a mental patient. This compromised much of the information he might have otherwise gotten. Even a dead person's better than a lunatic. I can use mediumship rituals to talk to the dead, but what do I do with a lunatic? Oh, wait. Madame Daly once used mediumship rituals to call upon my lost memories. The theory behind mediumship rituals seems to be derived from the psychology alchemists. This means I can use the mediumship rituals on the living and create a scenario where I interact with a spirit directly using my spirit. I wonder if Hoodyugen would still be insane under those circumstances. From there, but the road will take 40 minutes. Oh, no worries at all, man. I think today's stream's probably going to be like 3.5 hours, something like that, so well, no worries at all. By the way, Nagita, I assume you've also finished Lord of the Mysteries like everyone else here, I think? Unfortunately, I'm not advanced enough in this field, so I don't think I'll be able to do it. I'll call upon the messenger and ask Madame Daly about it. I'll see if she can provide me any techniques. If she thinks that only she can accomplish it, then I'll tell the captain to send a telegraph to Backland to request for assistance. I'm definitely not taking this troublesome course of action just because I want to learn the technique and attempt a ritual to summon the messenger. You've read it 3 times. Holy shit. Omni Movement. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Thanks for popping by. How you doing? If you do a big stream at the end of Volume 1, do 203 to 214. Oh, yeah, like 11 chapters we can do easy. That's no problem. We can do that in one stream. No problem. That I have enough confidence in that I can just do. And if that's the case, if it's like 203, what I might try is, so today and tomorrow are the only... no, Romero's going to disagree. Okay, never mind. Fuck it. Well, so yeah, we'll figure that out. Okay. Mini 200 to 214. Okay. Yeah, that's fine too. 14 is still doable. I don't get rereading things even for LOTM. Other novels need my time. I genuinely Easy wants to join you at the end of volume 1. I see. I'm definitely not taking this troublesome course of action just because I want to learn, whatever. Many thoughts ran through Klein's mind before he gradually narrowed it down to a single line of thought that could solve the problem. Daxter Gurdon approved of his guess. Greed always makes one foolish. Even when a person knows there's only the abyss in front, he'll still attempt to walk to the edge and take a peek. Truer words. I started reading LOT. I'm currently at chapter 9, so I don't understand chapter 9. It's quite complex. Yes, if you're that early, Omni, this whole this whole thing is going to be a shit ton of spoilers. So I would definitely be careful. Obviously, we're more than happy to have you here, of course, but I just don't want to. Yeah, the first. Oh yes, on that point, the entire thing is like really confusing up until you get to chapter like 50, 75. I agree. If you want, once I'm done this chapter, we can we can go back to chapter 2. I can go back to chapter 9, skim through it, and answer any questions you may have or whatever. 200 to 214, pushing him to his limits to get a better experience, I guess. I'm not fucking All Might, like, pushing me to my limits, bro. But yeah, like, 200 to 214 we can do, so that's no problem. So, what we might do then, if it's 200, my plan is to get to, like, what did I say, 182 today? Then I might really push it tomorrow. And then do, so like today I do one up to 182, and then I do an afternoon stream, even though I didn't want to because I wanted to rest my throat. I'm gonna take a couple of days off after tomorrow anyway, so fuck it, I can just push it real hard. And then I can go to like 186 tonight, 186, 187 tonight, and then push to 200 tomorrow. Then take 2 or 3 days off, because I have. So tomorrow I'll stream. Saturday, Sunday, Monday I have classes. Tuesday I have an exam right in the morning. So if you guys want Tuesday, we can do like a long stream, but like for whatever time works best for you guys. It'll have to be a little bit, at least in the afternoon. It can't be this early because my exam lasts till 12. So earliest I'm home by like 1, let's say. And then I can't stream till like 3 or 4, unfortunately. So we can just do a long stream on Tuesday and hammer out to the end of to volume 1 maybe. Hello, Prince Red Devil. Ooh, Dr. Z. Okay. I literally read it twice. Once in English, once in Arabic. What? English is not my native language, so I need to understand it so the stream won't bother me. Oh, I see. Okay. Good luck. You can always ask questions. Yeah. If you're interested, consider joining the Discord, and then these people who live and breathe the novel can give you some great answers, because these guys know I come to them with a problem like twice a chapter. I don't fucking know. Even as someone whose whose primary language is... it should be in the Discord, Omni, if you're interested. You can't stream the final... Okay, no, because the weekend is, I have, so like Saturday I have an exam, and then Monday I have an exam, so I need to take Sunday to study for it. I just get fucked. So we can do Tuesday. There's no link in the description? What the fuck? Hold on, I'll get it for you. Give me a second. Oh, Ramirez beat me to it. All right, fair enough. Thanks, Rem. Agreed. Yes. This is crazily testing the limits of fate. Klein lampooned. You can't drop so much lore and pretend like it never happened. Oh, red. I see. try your best to treat Hood Yugen after returning to the mental asylum. Try to keep him sober for a period of time and get some clues out of him. Also, don't try to hide your worries and anxiety. Establish more connections with the psychology alchemists and put pressure on them to solve Hood Yugen's problem. That's the most reasonable and normal reaction. Sorry. To who? What is happening? I'm so confused. I'll try my best, Daxter nodded. Klein didn't say anything more, and after some deliberation he asked, has there been any abnormalities with, Tuesday is early long stream? Okay. Well, it depends. What is early for you? Like, Tuesday... I don't know. Okay, we'll figure out the specifics in a little bit. But okay, now that I know that it's like the 14 chapters or so, like that's doable. I can live with that. So that's no problem. Klein didn't say any more, but after some deliberation, he asked, has there been any abnormalities with Hood Yugen's body recently? This is good time for stream? Okay. For example, thin scales growing on some parts of his body, near insanity. True insanity and losing control were all descriptions of varying levels for a Beyonder when something was wrong with them. The least severe of the condition were when their attitude changed as if he had become a new person, but they were still capable of rational thoughts and action. That was near insanity. This time is perfect for you. Here's the thing. I can't stream at this time. I can't stream at this time on Tuesday because my exam would end in an hour from now. So an hour from now and then like half an hour to get back home. Like the earliest I could stream is an hour and a half from now, but that even, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to, so either we do like a little bit later, or, and I hate to say this, we push it to Wednesday and then do it at this time. We'll just have to see which one works better. Yeah, that's fine. Insanity was more severe in that the person would lose all logic, becoming a manic that was difficult to communicate with. Those that couldn't be saved were those whose bodies and minds became monsters, completely losing control. No, anything but Wednesday. A little later is fine. Okay. Sometimes, if the problem wasn't dealt with promptly, insanity would lead to losing control. Before this, to avoid exposing the informant, the psychology alchemists, Dunn instructed the Nighthawks not to immediately deal with Hood Yugen. Instead, they switched to surveillance to ensure that Hood Yugen didn't lose control. But if there were signs of him losing control, they'd have to deal with it immediately. I can't skip any more chemistry class. Oh, because early for me would be late for you and you have your chemistry at night. Yes. Okay, so then it might have to be Tuesday a little bit later. Oh, sorry. Tuesday I'll have math class at this time, and after it I'll have English. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay. This is becoming a fucking scheduling nightmare. Okay. Okay, what we'll do is, okay. How about this? So let me put in the time I'm currently thinking. Tuesday, let's say. So I'm putting the time I'm currently thinking in the chat. Just convert whatever EST is to your timing. Let me know how that works for a lot of you, okay? Just let me know if you're busy or available or whatever, and then if not, we'll sort something out. I don't fucking know. If I have to do it late at night, we'll do it late at night. Fuck it. I don't have any classes after that, so I can just sleep in. Fuck it. What do I care? No. Daxter shook his head and let out a bitter laugh. No, you can ease your concern, but I'm very afraid that Hood Yugen will lose control, so I'm paying very close attention to detail. After all, I'm in the mental asylum 6 times a week. After exchanging a few more words, they left the shooting range 10 minutes apart. Klein fought back his intense desire to sleep and took a public carriage back to Daffodil Street. He opened the door and saw his sister sitting on the sofa. She was neither reading nor was she fiddling with machinery parts. She was just staring blankly ahead as if she had lost her soul. Tapping her molars gently, Klein activated his spirit vision and asked, "Melissa, did something happen? She looks healthy based on the colors of her aura, not malnourished like she was before." Melissa retracted her gaze and pursed her lips. She then looked at the kitchen, which was producing some noise. Bella has been recommending the way that her family prepares breakfast back at home. She said it's very delicious. I agreed to try it out this morning. What method is that? Klein had an ominous feeling. Cooking all the leftovers in a pot, then adding water and bread. This is the standard recipe for food of unknown origins. And so... We shouldn't waste our food. Melissa bit her lips and nodded. Sis, I feel like you're questioning life. Klein cleared his throat and suppressed his desire to laugh. Where's Benson? He asked. In the bathroom. Melissa broke free of her gaze as her eyes regained their luster. At that moment, he heard the sounds of flushing from the bathroom. Benson came out with a newspaper in hand. My dear Klein, shall we get you a portion of breakfast? No, I've already eaten. Klein shook his head resolutely. Feeling lucky that he arranged to meet Daxter in the morning, otherwise he wouldn't have gotten Roseanne to buy breakfast for him. How regrettable. I feel like that's how a lot of stuff started, no? Because that's just a standard recipe for like, oh, fuck it, just toss everything in, we'll eat it, because who's throwing out food? How regrettable. Otherwise, you would change your views on my culinary skills and be filled with confidence about it. Benson let out a self-deprecating laugh. At this moment, Melissa noticed something. She had turned to Klein and said, "You're back rather late today. Sis, be more innocent and lively. Don't worry about me all the time. The state you were in now was great." "I have good news," said Klein. You pass the examination of the police department and can obtain an increased salary?" Melissa asked without thinking. Benson also smiled and nodded. Klein grabbed his hat and stood on the edge of the living room. "How am I supposed to surprise you guys like this?" After that, he added, "Yes, my salary has increased several-fold." He hit his recent increment of 4 additional pounds a week. He intended to save up a small piggy bank for himself. After all, he couldn't just rely on the money in the unmarked account. Yeah, I mean, of course you can. 300 pounds, and then you can just get more from Miss Justice when you have more shit to give her. Fuck it. Or even just be like, hey, next time, or worst case scenario, just be like, hey, Miss Justice, my admirer needs 1,000 pounds. The next time you need something, you need not provide me with the fucking pages of Roselle diary. We'll call that a good deal or whatever. Like, fucking done immediately. It's so easy. What do you, dude? You're like, as far as they're concerned, you're a god. What are you so worried about? Furthermore, mentioning his salary had increased several-fold was enough to scare his siblings. 6 pounds? Melissa exclaimed in shock. I really need to change my job. Benson stroked his hairline. I'm surprised that it didn't add Benson stroked his receding hairline. That's actual kindness that they just showed him right there. With the information Klein provided, he had been putting on a lot of effort into his studies. Without waiting for Klein to speak, Melissa said with a delighted surprise, "In that case, after deducting our normal expenses, you'll be able to save up enough money in 2 or 3 years to meet the standard of a marriageable gentleman." Well, it was Elizabeth who told me about the standards. Ooh. Did Elizabeth also said who she was planning on marrying? Sorry. There's no big three. Wait, yes. But most people consider LOTM, ORV, and RI to be the big three. Really? Shadow Slave, similar to Hunter x Hunter, Dragon Ball. Interesting. No one argues that. Oh, plenty of people argue that Dragon Ball is part of the big three. It's not, because it preceded them, but plenty of people argue that. Milos, that is the neat thing. Most people do not consider ORV to be the big three. Shadow Slave have up and down quality. I haven't read it, so I can't say anything. Wind Valley. Thanks for popping by. I don't believe I've seen you here before. How you doing today? You doing mod work in all those streams? Yeah, Ramiro is the fucking goat, dude. This shit wouldn't run without him. The 3 most popular influential anime that gained immense popularity and continue. No, I agree with you, Romero. I don't think what do you call it? I don't think Dragon Ball is part of the big 3, but people argue because people hear big 3 and they don't understand like the context of it, right? Like the context of the big 3 is like, hey, this was a time when Shonen Jump was having like decreased sales, and then these 3 came out at roughly the same time, and their sales skyrocketed, and they were like, holy shit, we're building our whole fucking new brand identity on these guys. This is it. And like Dragon Ball was way before that. Well, not way, but it was like before that. So I get it, but it was just wrong. Wait, where was I? Yes. Klein said at a loss. Well, he didn't. That's something to be considered far into the future. Shouldn't we celebrate? I hereby announce that from today on, our staple food should become white bread. After my workload decreases, we shall go try out delicacies from different restaurants. Melissa glanced at him as though she did not hear what Klein had just said. Benson and I are attending Mass at St. Selena Cathedral. Do you want to come? I am praising the goddess every day, Klein laughed. I need to catch up on sleep. He slept until 12:30 in the afternoon. After he had lunch with Benson and Melissa, he continued on with his mission of searching all the houses with the red chimney. Like, Oda confirmed that One Piece will end in 5 years. He's been saying that for so fucking long, dude. I don't know. I don't believe him. I feel like One Piece is like Oda's fucking like life force or whatever. If he stopped doing it, he would just like die immediately. He's been doing, dude. On that note, I gotta say, all right, no worries, Milos. Hope you have a good basketball practice, but like I'm just saying, like, dude, Oda's the only person who, like, in terms of mangaka that I can remember who's been making mangas so consistently for so long and doesn't have any health problems or whatever. Like, everyone has been, like, needed to take hiatuses and whatever because of their health, and Oda's just fucking hammering that bitch out like no tomorrow. When it was late at night, he sealed his room with spirituality and prepared to try the ritual for summoning spirit guide Daly's messenger. I'm planning to go to that convention between May 1st and May 3rd. Where's the convention, Wind Valley? Google the god of foreshadowing. Holy shit, you weren't... I thought that was a joke. This guy's fucking goated. This motherfucker... Holy shit. I'd say that Shadow Slave's writing is not trash, but definitely not amazing. At times you need to turn your brain off. In China, it's an annual anime con. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, let us know if there's any new updates regarding the anime and stuff. By the way, have you seen or like is it available in China to see? Because I know there was an airing of the first episode of is a big info translator. Oh, that's awesome. Have you been able to like, is it available to see in China the first episode of the anime or Danwa? Because I know there was an airing in China. I can't remember where, but like it's not on the internet anywhere, which is crazy. It's not. Yeah, no. I know it isn't available in the West. I was curious if like internally in China it was available in like there were 2 screenings. Because like China has their own like version of YouTube and other Redmi. What the fuck is it called? I don't know. There's a thing I can't remember. Billy. I think Billy is what I'm remembering. Yes, I think that sounds familiar. I stalk LTM Chinese social media. The first episode was premiered offline to selected audiences. All audience signed an NDA and their phones were sealed. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. Okay, so they took that shit real serious. Okay, dope. Okay, no worries. If it was available, Ramiro would have been in China. Ramiro's just trekking across Asia. Is like, I must see it. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm gonna open my window. My room is fucking on fire. Jesus Christ. Okay. 176. Letter. For Klein, setting up a simple ritual was as easy as breathing. Very soon. Oh, by the way, is the Ramiro, can you confirm? Is the Discord link not in the description? Because it really should be. I feel like I recalled putting it there. Get me a rank of the official. Someone translate easy videos with Chinese subtitles on Bilibili. Oh, dude. Especially with like stream over there. Or stream, what the fuck? Especially with speed over there. Holy shit, boys. That would do numbers. It is there. Okay, dope. Okay, thanks, guys. Because I can't remember. Someone asked earlier and they said they couldn't find it, so I thought I was losing my mind. Okay. For Klein, setting up a simple ritual was as easy as breathing. Very soon, he was done preparing the ingredients, and he lit up the candle that represented himself. Oh, by the way, there's a bird squealing outside. Let me know if you can hear it. If you can, I'll close the window. Because if you guys can hear it, that probably just annoy the shit out of you. Looking at the flickering candlelight on the desk, Klein had an amusing thought for a baffling reason. Would this be considered holding a candlelight vigil of myself? What the fuck am I thinking? He reined back his thoughts and picked up the black rotten flour powder that belonged to the domain of death and sprinkled it onto the candle. In return, he caught a whiff of a smell that was akin to formaldehyde from his previous life. I'd do great contributions towards LOTM. I feel like if you just joined the Discord with how much you would you'd be in there and how much you'd be contributing, you'd probably get a rank pretty easily, no, Ramiro? Immediately after that, he dripped full moon essence oil, a favorite item of the Evernight. Amidst a sizzling crackle, his surroundings suddenly became quiet, and there was a shapeless, magical surge. Klein took a step back and softly recited, I, in Hermes, then he changed into... In ancient Hermes, then he changed to Hermes, I summon in my name. The spirit that wanders, the unfounded, the higher dimensional creature that a human orders. The messenger that belongs to daily Simone. The wind wailed and dim candlelight was tainted by a blue luster. Under its illumination, the wall behind the desk produced translucent ripples. And a creepy face surfaced. Other than its mouth, it had no eyebrows, eyes, or nose. Its thick lips parted and a long red tongue was extended. There were sharp, irregular teeth that lined its mouth. In addition, the tip of the tongue had 5 delicate fingers. Hold on, the tip of the tongue had 5 delicate fingers? What the fuck am I looking at here? Its thick slit... Sorry, I have to read this again. I'm... Creepy face, other than its mouth. It had no eyebrows, eyes, or nose. So it just has a mouth? Yes, outside of China, Ramiro is one of the biggest helpers in the community. I have one question regarding LTM. Is Zhou I kind of dislike overpowered. I wouldn't... Omni, I wouldn't say he's overpowered. I would definitely say he has a little bit of plot armor for sure, especially given whatever the well, I guess I can't even tell you. When does the place above the gray fog appear? I don't even know. He's not overpowered. He's like a scrappy underdog. He has a little bit of plot armor. Like again, I don't know if he even knows. Chapter 9. I feel like he was in the world above the gray fog at that point. No, I feel like just the existence of whatever the world above the gray fog is that can shield him from the fucking eternal blazing sun. Like that is some plot armor, man. And again, like Amnesiac said, that's absolutely true. Every MC has plot armor. That's actually true. I don't. Yeah, it's chapter 6. Okay, yeah. So, like, the world above the gray fog, like, that's a huge help that he has. What exactly is it? Fucking even I couldn't tell you. Even if I did, I obviously wouldn't, because that'd be a spoiler, but even I don't fucking know what it is. They were constantly extending and retracting as though they were waiting for a delivery. This is Daly's messenger? Compared to ASIC's, it's like a child. No, I can't accurately determine their differences. Yes, one is an adult giant and the other is a human baby. I wonder if it's due to the magical item or if it signifies ASIC's strength. I have to reevaluate my understanding of him. Perhaps he's a high sequence beyonder. I will say, if, let's say, this is a figure of strength or like a representation of strength, Daly's a spirit medium, so I think she's 7, right? 7, I think. Sequence 7, spirit medium, I think. And hers is a fucking baby, whereas ASIC's was a giant. So this motherfucker's got to be like he's got to be a he's got to be a demigod then. He's probably like 3 or some shit. I don't know. Like, I would assume the difference between a human baby and adult giant is like 4 sequences. No, I don't know. I'm just making up numbers here. Who knows? Crap. I forgot. In the letter, I should have asked Daly for the name of the sequence 4 and 3 of the Corpse Collector pathway. ASIC most likely belongs to that pathway. Let's go. My divination worked. Of course, he might not have advanced via potions. Yes, perhaps it's a gene that's passed down from his ancestors. I'll ask next time the messenger's waiting. No, she already advanced to 6. You said that too. Oh, yeah. Didn't she say, like, she moved from spirit medium to, like, spirit something? It was spirit something. It was still spirit. I remember that part. I don't know what it was, but it was spirit something. Is it in my notes? I don't know. I don't think so. No, it's not in my notes. Fuck, I really have to write more shit down. I just always forget. Fuck. Spirit guide. Thank you, Dr. Z. Alright, it's going in the notes. Spirit guide. Dope. Thank you. Klein looked at it seriously for a while and passed the neatly folded paper into the messenger's hand. Then he watched as the hand gripped it tightly. The messenger retracted its tongue and swallowed the letter. The translucent, creepy and wriggling face shrank back into the wall and disappeared. I've got to say, this magic is quite cool. Rather convenient, too, but it can't be spread. Klein looked at the candlelight that had returned to normal. He shook his head and ended the ritual. If you're planning on reading COI, you need to start studying French. Dude, I had to study French for school, and already no go on that one, okay? I can't. I've tried. Oh my god. I suck at French. I don't know. I find Spanish to be much more palatable. I don't know. French just... So, by the way, DSV, close your ears. I'm going to say some mean shit, okay? Like, French just seems like such a fucking arrogant language. Like, even the fucking pronunciation words is like... like, it's so up there. Like, what the fuck? Alright, no worries at all, Omni. I appreciate you popping by. If you have any questions about the novel, just toss them in general chat. Do not ever open the spoiler chat. Even I'm not allowed in there. Yeah, but if you have any questions, toss them in, and someone I'm sure will help you. I will also try to help, but I will fuck shit up. So don't trust what I say. I hate French, but somehow I always get full marks on it. No, dude, I'm not even kidding. I used to get like French was my worst performing thing in school forever, all the way up until grade 10. When I had to take chemistry, and then chemistry was the worst, only by like 2%, but it was still worse. And then in grade 11, I still had to take chemistry, so that became my worst. But then I switched from French to Spanish, and then my mark went like so good. Okay. I've got to say, this magic is quite cool, rather convenient too, but it can't be spread. Klein looked at the candlelight that had returned to normal. He shook his head and ended the ritual. Fuck the French. I did accounting instead of French for my exams. Accounting, way better. You're off limits to spoilers, Romero. It doesn't play with spoilers. Absolutely. It is an arrogant language. Imagine being French and listening to French politicians. Well, I will say I don't know what the consensus is. I will offhand, but I like Macron. Like when he had that press conference with Trump, he like put Trump in his place, which hey, I'm all here for. So Monday morning, Backland Empress Borough. Oh, Monday. So another tarot club meeting. In a hidden corner of the municipal garden built by Duke Negan, Gio, with her unkempt blonde hair, and Force Wall, with her languid bearing, were gawking at the liaison before them in a daze. They were momentarily at a loss for which language to use for a greeting. The petite Gio, who was slightly over 1.5 meters, which was like 4'10", looked at the golden retriever that had extended its tongue and waggling its tail. She smoothed out her trainee night attire, weighed her words before saying, "Are you Miss Audrey's messenger?" My goodness, why am I taking a dog so seriously? Do you know that he's visiting Egypt right now? Wait, who's visiting Egypt right now? Oh, Macron, I assume. Oh, I did not know. No. My worst grade was sociology. I somehow kept getting lower than 0 marks. How do you get lower than 0? Like, do you guys have a thing in like Iran where, like, if you get a mark wrong, you get negative marks for it? You should take that dog seriously. Yeah, dude. Susie's a fucking beyonder, bro. No, never mind. My spelling was worse. Wait, Macron is liked by the elderly, not really popular here, quite hated actually. Really? Again, I don't know much. There's like 2 things I know of Macron. Again, that press conference with Trump where he like put him in his place. Super love that. And there was another one where he was talking about like how there's like economic hard times coming. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to reading in a second. Basically no one here gives a shit about French politics, but he was talking about like, oh guys, like there's a economic hard time coming. We all need to like buckle up, but as a community we're gonna get through it together. And then his like fucking $100,000 watch is like banging on the table, and it's like click clacking, and so he takes it off under the table. It's like, dude, no, you can't do that. Imagine telling your populace like, guys, the economy is going to be rough for a little bit, okay, but we're going to get through it together. And then you're wearing like people's houses on your wrist. Holy shit. Like that was just bad. Whoever his fucking his stylist did him dirty that day. Now Forrest was holding a thin cigarette in her fingers as she chuckled. Maybe it's a magical creature. I've never seen a magical creature that looks so much like a dog, Gio replied. Susie sat down and closed her mouth. She then pointed at her belly with her paw. There was a leather pouch tied to the dog's body amidst her long golden fur. Gio looked to the left and right, making sure no one was looking, before she quickly moved in, bent down and removed the pouch. Forrest watched curiously as her expression changed. It's made of crocodile skin, and it looks like the work of the fashion designer, Mr. Sadie's. Sadie's. She's actually using such a pouch for the transaction. In other words, it's expensive. Gio raised the pouch. Forrest pursed her lips tightly and nodded seriously. Gio instantly lowered her speed in an exaggerated manner. She carefully opened the zipper and took out the letter inside, as though she was carrying an antique vase in her hands. As soon as it's expensive, like, holy shit, keep it pristine, we're selling this bitch. After she read it, she passed the letter to Forrest. Forrest burned it with her cigarette after reading it carefully. She watched as it turned to ash. Dude, I will say, in like every spy movie or like books or whatever, people always do this. They like read a thing once and then like set it on fire. Do you understand? If I read a thing and then set it on fire, I'd immediately be like, do you know the amount of times I check the time and then 4 seconds later I'm like, what the fuck is the time? Like, holy shit, I'd be fucked. There's no extra information provided, Gio pouted subconsciously. She took out a neatly folded paper with the pocket from the pocket of her trainee night attire. She looked at Susie in an imposing manner and exhorted subconsciously, "This is the investigation report for the past few days. You must pass this on to Miss Audrey directly." Susie quivered and sat up straight, her tail wagging vigorously. Shio nodded in satisfaction, stuffed the stack of papers into the leather pouch, and tied it around Susie again. Susie howled and ran off very quickly. In the Hall family's luxurious villa, Audrey was sitting on the sofa in her own living room. She was holding a letter opener and trying to open the letter before her. In Sri Lanka, you can do your exam in 3 different languages. Ah, dope. That's good. It was a letter sent by one of her brothers in the Balam Empire in the southern continent. There was a parcel that came along with the letter. At that moment, she saw Susie push open the half-closed door. The dog lashed over quickly. Susie sat on the carpet before Audrey and pawed at the leather pouch. "You really are an excellent messenger." Audrey wasn't stingy with the compliments. Susie looked back at the door. It induced vibrations in the air and said softly, "Your friend is very serious. When I saw her, she reminded me of the time when a hunter came to train us. She had been a complimentary gift when Count Hall brought hunting dogs." Have you written anything about the southern continent? Hold on. The only thing I have was the theory is land of the Forsaken by the gods was split from the North and South kingdoms. There was a cataclysm, whatever. No, not too much. Should I have? Is this stuff? Is this important? Do I give a shit about the fucking geography of the world? Do I have to? I don't really give a shit about the geography of our world. Only that Roselle colonized Klein. And Klein's father died there during the colonial war. Yes, yes. I can write that down. Okay, dope. I can write that down. Southern Kingdom. Roselle colonized and Klein's father died there during the colonial war. Dope. Just add that the southern continent had the Balam Empire. Alright, dope. LOTM geography. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I literally feel like every time I ask you guys, like, hey, is this important? The answer is always, like, everything is important. Fuck me, dude. Okay. Susie, your loan is getting more and more fluent. There are a few problems with your logic in using the language. Audrey watched as a golden retriever took off the pouch on her own and skillfully pulled the zipper. What? Whoa, she's getting so good. What the fuck? I know LOTM history more than my own. She gave Susie a look immediately and understood. She stood up and ran to lock the door. There's no results so far, but we found some vagrants disappearing around the Backland Bridge Burrow. Though we can't be sure it was the Rear Admiral, perhaps the vagrants merely changed their movement pattern suddenly. Audrey flipped through the investigation report and seriously wondered how they should reply to Force and Geo. Actually, I don't think I have anything about the actual about this fucking Rear Admiral. I really should add something. He's gonna die very soon, but I should have something in here for him because he might be mentioned before. Kilongos, Rear Admiral. What was it? Sequence 6, Wind Blast. Possesses an item that will allow him to quickly become a high sequence beyonder. The item requires the soul and body of a person every 2 days. Has some ties to Alder. Well, I assume they're both just pirates or some shit, right? So, like, maybe Kilongos or stole some shit from him or something. I don't fucking know. Okay. No, it said every other day. Bullshit, Ramiro. I'm calling... No, it said every other day. I remember this. There's no... You guys can fact check me on this. Yes. Though we can't be sure it was the Rear Admiral, perhaps the vagrants simply changed their movement pattern suddenly. Audrey flipped through the investigation report and seriously wondered how they should reply to Gio and Fours. I'll tell Gio that as long as she can track down the Rear Admiral, I'll buy the Sheriff Potion formula for her. No, that's not friendly enough. It would make her feel inferior. Yes, I shall say it's every... Oh, for fuck's sakes, dude. Are you kidding? No, it said every other day. Okay, well, you know what? Then there was a translation error because I remember reading it. There's no fucking way I'm misremembering. Yes, I shall say, Gio, I've prepared your reward. As long as you can complete the task, 450 pounds will be yours. As far as the main ingredients for the telepathist formulas, okay, Skillet, okay, fuck you, dude. I've only found the Farsman rabbit spinal fluid. I still need to find the rainbow salamander pituitary gland. Glane, Zio, and Fours have yet to find it. Audrey, cheer up. At least you've digested the spectator potion completely. Holy shit, she did too. Based. Okay. Once you put together all the ingredients, you'll become a sequence 8 beyonder. That's really good. She digested it as quickly as Klein did, basically. That's awesome. Audrey reined in her thoughts, picked up a pen and paper, and quickly wrote a reply. She stuffed it back into the leather pocket and entrusted Susie to make another trip. She watched her golden retriever as she opened the letter that her brother had sent. She read it with a smile. My dear sister, I think you should come to the southern continent too. Come over to the colonized regions of the Balam Empire. There's abundant sunlight, fresh air, a clean environment, freshly caught seafood, various unique cultures, and the very kind and obedient Balam people who make good servants, as well as the smell of freedom. Alright, that sounds like indentured servitude or imperialism there, so that's not great. On the contrary, Backland is cold and moist, the air is bad, there's always dust, and it's always gloomy. Plus, I feel like I'm literally listening to what I assume like someone would have written about, like what someone from like England would have written when they went to like Europe or when they went to like Asia or whatever. They're like, dude, you need to get out of London. Okay, it's always gloomy, it's always raining, there's shit everywhere. You like come out over here, bro. The good shit's over here. Plus, it's highly populated, which leads to all sorts of problems, and the endless balls, banquets, and salons. The social events are so boring and insipid that I wouldn't want to stay another minute. Dear sister, I believe you share the same feeling. Audrey's brother looks at humans and sees future servants. Yeah, they did this in Egypt. Yeah, they did that in a lot of places, man. They did that to like... well, it didn't quite do that to China. It was much more the Opium Wars, which is already fucked as it was. They did that to India. They did it to basically all of Africa. Like, what in the fuck? Like the entire continent of fucking Africa was split between, what was it, Spain, France, and like the UK. Like, what in the fuck? There might have been a fourth. I can't remember. But like, what? I'm not running away from home. I'm merely seeking my own place in life, but our brother definitely doesn't think so. He's always been a selfish person. Of course, he wouldn't be stingy with you because you can only claim a tiny part of the family wealth. I would be his biggest competition in the fight for inheritance within the ranks of the nobles. After all, our father is a duke who takes a long view. He definitely wouldn't be restrained by the rule that the eldest sibling will inherit the rank of nobility. You expect me to believe that? I don't know, dude. I don't know anything about Sri Lankan history. I can't speak to it with any semblance of competence. They got here just to have better access to India. Oh, interesting. Wait, they went to Egypt to have better access of India? Am I losing my fucking mind? What's the throughway there? Stop. Oh, maybe you mean like via the Red Sea, maybe? And then get over here. Maybe. Yeah, probably just the Red Sea. The Suez Canal. Wait, no, the Suez Canal is... Oh, yeah, the Suez... that maybe too. Yes. Thanks, TSV. Bro, the only reason we have our... Sorry, exports? What, sorry, I don't know what that word is, Romero, or what it's supposed to be. Our peak railway system, our education removal of the caste system, they were pretty good to us. Wait, they removed the caste system in Sri Lanka? That's weird, because they enshrined it into law in India. What the fuck? Sorry, you see, this is why, oh my god, what the fuck do we talk about over here? Good lord. As long as he feels that it's necessary, he would do anything, just like when he sold off half the farmland and pastures to enter the banking industry, regardless of the strong opposition. I miss background sometimes, mostly father, mother, and you. I miss the smile that you would put on my face during those years. You've become the most dazzling gem in Backland, but unfortunately, I'll only be able to return after 2 years. A career is a man's pride, while the outstanding young people of Lone Kingdom treat the world as their stage. Britishers wanted to use the Suez Canal like their own, like they own Gibraltar. Yeah, them removing the caste system's already weird. Yeah, my country was already colonized by a bunch of people. Yark, where are you from? You can tell our dear aunt that the coastal regions of the Balam Empire are very suited for a vacation, especially suitable for her. Given how her joints ache and swell in the winter, it'd be good for her. Warm weather would be good for her arthritis. I sincerely invite her to be my guest. If you can come with her, that would be even better. I didn't send you too many gifts. They're mainly things that are rich with the traditions and styles of Balam, such as the unique yellow silk and the ornaments that are filled with traits along with the worship of death. I remembered that you love things regarding mysticism, so I'll look around for you. The culture here is full of mystery. Now, I'm guessing, maybe, Audrey will mention something about the Balam Kingdom and death in the Tarot Club. That'll give Klein an idea to ask her to get some answers from her brother regarding Azek, maybe? After reading the letter, Audrey picked up pen and paper and the writing board. She leaned back into the sofa, pursed her lips, and wrote seriously. My dearest Alfred, although it has been less than a year, the little girl in your memories has grown up. I don't like mysticism anymore, so you don't have to search for those kinds of things, because it's very dangerous. Audrey puffed her cheeks and nodded in her head. She had heard too many tragedies related to mysterious objects when participating in Beyonder gatherings, and from stories Gio and Forrest recounted. She thought and declared excitedly, I'm now interested in biology. Recently, I've been in awe of the rainbow salamander. Can you ask around for me and where I can find one of these creatures, or if they have a complete corpse that's been preserved? Yeah, like, I don't want to doubt you, Romero, but what you're saying contradicts like my entire understanding of the entire fucking British Empire. Hold on. British rule of Sri Lanka. British took over Sri Lanka in 1798? Oh, good lord. They did do bad things, yeah. Loyola, how's it going? Thanks for popping by. How's your day going? 182. Okay. Holy shit, man. These are such long chapters. What the fuck? Bring back the short chapters. My throat's killing me. What the fuck? Motherfuckers just give me lore dump after lore dump every fucking chapter. What the fuck? Oh my god. Audrey stopped writing after she finished sharing some interesting news and scandals about aristocrats. She then adopted a serious pose as she recalled something. With her exceptional memory as a spectator, the information that she received from her father's teachings, as well as the news she had heard during banquets and salons into paragraphs, after creating a draft in her head, Audrey penned, "As for the political situation in Backland, you asked about it. It's not within my area of interest. I can only describe it to you based on my own impressions and the details that I happen to know. Some time ago, Father told me that the abolishment of the Grain Act, the price of crops were dropping rapidly. The rent of farmland and pastures were also plunging, but I don't know the exact magnitude. I can only explain it to you with this example. As you know, Duke Negan is an aristocrat who owns most of the land outside of the royal family. It said he owns more than £12 million worth of farmland, pastures, and forests. Last year, his land earned him a historic $1.3 million in rent, but this year, the forecast is that his rent will only be £850,000, a whole £450,000 less. That's more than the entirety of the assets that I'm entitled to. Nagito, we're on 177 right now. Yes, Dr. Z, the 5 pages by itself just speaks volumes. Like, I don't even need to know what was in there. You can estimate. The history is so long and the book has a page limit, so that to minimize. Without an explanation from me, I'm sure my brother will understand the behavior of most old-fashioned nobles. They're proud of being landowners, and their income is derived mostly of rent. They placed a heavy emphasis on their appearance and would maintain their current lifestyle even if they have to go into debt. They spend tens of thousands of pounds on the upkeep of their castles every year, many more thousands on clothes and jewelry, as well as their persistent hunting activities, social banquets, occasional lavish weddings and funerals, etc. Alright, no worries at all, Nagito. By the time you come back, we'll probably be probably mid 178 or something. They place a heavy, yes, okay. With the decrease in rent, according to my knowledge, a good portion of nobles will have met financial difficulties. Because of this, Count Wolf has sold 84,000 acres of land in the countryside and gotten £29,000. Bro, how much is an heir worth? Hold on. So he sold 84,000 heirs for £29,000, which means, nope, that is not how you do that. Fuck me. You can see how dog shit I am at math. What the fuck? An heir is worth a third of a pound. Interesting. Yeah, 40 minutes. That'll be like 1.5 chapters. It might be 2, but I doubt it. We're talking about a lot of shit, so. Viscount Conrad has also sold his art collection worth £55,000 to the National Art Gallery. Who the fuck owns the art gallery that they can afford £55,000? Excuse me? Other than the few visionary nobles who have long shifted their focus to steel, coal, and railroads, banks, and the rubber industry, the rest of the nobles have severely been affected by the Grain Act. Let us praise our dear Count Hall. It's okay, man. I got great grades in every subject, but a whooping F- for math. No, the weird thing is math is like the only thing I'm good at. Everything else I'm dog shit in. I'm not good at history. I'm not good at geography. I'm not good at anything. Yeah, English. No, none of it. Father told me that the financial distress will loosen the control that the nobles have over politics. As you can imagine, the number of ministers with blue blood will decline from the next year onward. With blue blood? Is that like a... What does that mean? Is blue blood meaning like aristocracy? What does that mean? In a bid to secure funding, the Conservative Party and the New Party have promised to confer upon anyone the noble titles as long as they donate sufficient funds and money and lack any criminal records. Of course, the caveat is that the person who donated the money must own an amount of land befitting that of a noble. A pound is 100. Wow, okay, cool. Blue blood metaphor for nobles? Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Interesting. You see? Fucking dog shit. I don't know none of this. One example is is the rich Mr. Sindras? He purchased the lowest area of land expected of a baron, 60,000 acres. Holy shit. He then donated 100,000 pounds to the Charlatan Club. Charlatan. Clients got me fucked up, dude. Carlton Club, and 400,000 pounds to the Conservative Party, and donations to charity amounting to 300,000 pounds. Finally, he succeeded in receiving conferment from His Majesty and became a highly regarded baron. I've heard there's a price list to this. 300,000 to be a baron, 700,000 to $1 million for a hereditary baron. There's no clear price for the title of Viscount or Count, but I'm sure those are sufficiently ridiculous. I feel like if someone has the money for 300,000 pounds, you just wait and get 700 and get the hereditary. Because what the fuck is the point of having the baron title and then not have your offspring after you inherit it? It's way better to pay the double and just have it be part of your family at that point. This year, many nobles who are facing financial difficulties are starting to seriously consider the possibility of marriage with wealthy merchants. There have already been 3 marriages like this over the past 2 months. The betrothal. What? That can't be how you spell that word. Is that how you spell that? That's actual. Holy fuck. The betrothal gifts the noble women received are something to be envied. I don't know. I don't know what I thought it'd be spelled like in my head, but it didn't look like that. I know that word, but just seeing it written down feels so weird. I feel like I've only ever heard that word, never read it, so it feels weird. Also, the workers who protested the Grain Act did experience a decrease in the cost of living, but the quality of their lives have not improved. Instead, it seems to have deteriorated as the bankrupt farmers have entered the city and stolen their jobs by requesting lower wages. Thus, the wages of the laborers have dropped rapidly. I remember the day when Father asked me who I felt was the winner of the Grain Act. My dear Alfred, you must know the answer. You would definitely be able to obtain a hereditary baron through your own efforts. Okay, we live in these kinds of cities, so we don't have to worry about fortuitous encounters like the... I have to build up mountains. I have to climb up mountains every day? Damn state full of high tops for no reason? Wait, Yark, where are you from? What do you mean you have to hike up mountains every day? What do you mean? Gio and Forrest Wall were returning to the Backland Bridge burrow after they received Audrey's reply. Gio, with her messy blonde hair, was looking out the window of a carriage. Her eyes were bright like 2 burning balls of flames. She muttered the term 450 pounds to herself repeatedly as if an incantation. Her strength and courage grew every time she repeated it. It's like, Darkholme hasn't reported the status of the investigation today. Let's make a trip to his house. Gio suddenly turned to look at Forrest. Darkholme was the leader of the Triad in the Backland East Borough and had control of many buggers and thieves. The Lord of the Beggars. Yes. Even though he looked very friendly with his chubby face that was perpetually adorned with a warm and amiable smile, Gio knew that he was a merciless scoundrel. He once broke the arm of a 13-year-old thief because the boy had hidden profits. Unless it was necessary, Gio was unwilling to meet Darkholme, but Darkholme was one of the few people who were familiar with the vagrants in the city. Forrest pushed her slightly curly hair back behind her ears, as long as it doesn't delay my lunch. No problem. Perhaps I could treat you to an Intis feast after this week, Gio promised. Must I thank God? Forrest asked as she laughed. Unlike Gio, Forrest was a moderate believer of the god of steam and machinery. Malaysia. Oh, I see. The place that has the second highest mountain in the world? What's the second highest? K2? Oh, it is K2. Oh, fucking called it. Let's go. The only reason I would guess that is because I've read The Climber. Yes, I'm making that reference every fucking time I get, man. Not 4s, you should think. Wait. Third highest? I don't know what third highest is. I can't even pronounce that, bro. Look at this name. What? It's like... Who is a higher IQ client or Sherlock Holmes? Myself, of course. No, I'm just kidding. Sherlock, easy. As they conversed, the two ladies switched to another public carriage and arrived at the Backland East Borough and arrived at Darkholm's house. It was a terrace house located in a narrow alley. There were 3 plants hanging from the walls. The exterior looked relatively unkempt. Gio walked to the door, raised her right hand, and knocked in a unique rhythm. The unlocked door opened with a creak following her knocks. Gio's apparently confused expression suddenly turned stern like a wary lion's. She took out a bayonet she carried with her and cautiously pushed the door open. She then slowly stepped inside. Fours also stopped looking nonchalant, having produced a dagger of unknown origins. They didn't smell any peculiar scents, but their rich experience told them that something was off. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. Gio and Fours entered Darkholm's house. They saw a pale limb on a gas lamp, internal organs on a coffee table, as well as strips upon strips of flesh strewn on the floor and hung on the clothes rack. What the fuck? Pieces of bone had been stripped clean and piled up near the door. And among the bones was a head, its vacant eyes open. It was none other than Darkholm. His chubby face still maintained an amiable smile as if everything was normal. Furthermore, there was no stench of blood in the house. What the fuck is happening here? As a former clinical doctor, before becoming a best-selling author and a Sequence 9 Beyonder, Forrest had seen many death scenes more disgusting than this. More disgusting than this? She patted the tense Gio, who was on the brink of vomiting, as she surveyed the surroundings. The Rear Admiral? He realized that Darkholm was investigating the missing vagrants and tracked him back to his house. Or could it be that Darkholm had tracked him down but instead ended up getting caught? Gio fought back the urge to retch and said with a serious expression, "He sure lives up to the name as a merciless, crafty pirate admiral." Alright, see you, Nagito. Hope to see you back in a bit. The strangeness here also fits the description of his treasure. Crafty. Was suddenly alarmed as she blurted out, could he be waiting nearby in an ambush against the mastermind behind the investigation? Very clever. That's highly likely, Forrest said. That he was a Sequence 6 Windblast, a powerful pirate with a mystical artifact, and they were just 2 Sequence 9s. This was an extremely simple and easy contrast. Oh, they're not gonna die. In the house opposite Darkholm, a man with a unique broad chin and dark green eyes in his 30s was standing by the door, coldly observing Gio and Four's opening of the door and slow entry. He was none other than the Rear Admiral. The black glove on his left hand twitched as if it were alive. A layer of dull gold scales appeared on its surface. The Admiral revealed a cruel and joyous expression as his dark green eyes turned pale and gold and indifferent. Pale gold? What artifact does this motherfucker have? His glove had like gold scales come to it. Is it some like dragon bullshit? Because gold scales makes me think like a dragon. The moment Force realized this, she dragged Gio to the other side and avoided the area just across the main door. She then gritted her pearly white teeth and took out a brace... Okay, I will say, for someone who smokes as much as she does, she doesn't have pearly white teeth, man. She has the disgusting yellow teeth. Sorry to say it. I love her all the same, mind you, but it's just the truth. Took out a bracelet that was hidden by her sleeve. This silver bracelet had dark green coarse stones which showed signs of burn marks and were rough and uneven. Forrest pulled out one of the stones and let out a low growl in Ancient Hermes' door. She grabbed onto Gio tightly as the stone released a faint blue glow. The figure of the two ladies turned indistinct, nearly invisible. Sam, I thought you would slander the pirate again? Oh, no, it didn't mention how his face looks. If it does, I will do it, Romero. I promise. But it feels out of nowhere, and for people who haven't heard the joke before, it's gonna feel like it came out of left field. They saw many forms. Oh fuck! Sorry. They saw many forms they found difficult to describe. There were even transparent objects that didn't seem to exist. They saw different colors, lustrous splendors which seemed to possess immense knowledge. They had entered the mysterious spirit world. In this strange world that stood distinct from reality, Forrest proceeded in a particular direction while pulling Gio along. Oh, Dr. Z, you're gonna get yourself banned, man. You're towing that line. Seconds later, they exited their distinct states and returned to reality, to Backland. But they were no longer at Darkholm's house, but instead arrived at the empty cemetery. The Admiral, who was wearing the scaled glove, silently appeared at the door of Darkholm's house. He swept the interior in a cold gaze. He froze for a moment, then creased his brows and muttered to himself, "Traveler." So basically what it seems, whatever artifact as Forrest possessed is like, it's a door that allows you to enter the spirit world and then like come out somewhere else. It would kind of be like it's kind of like a wormhole, basically. Interesting. In the cemetery, what are we gonna do next? Oh, yes, apologies. You did very good, Dr. Z. You know what? You did great. You found temperance. You were so wise. You thought ahead. You are wise and strong and capable. What are we going to do next? Forrest panted, sensing their predicament and feeling a lingering sense of fear. The bracelet was a mystical item she had received along with the formula for apprentice and its corresponding materials during a fortuitous encounter of hers. Other than causing her to hear strange, faint murmurings during a full moon every month, it posed no threat. There were originally 5 stones on the bracelet. Each stone allows her to traverse the spirit world, technically allowing her to teleport, but now there were only 2 left. Gio calmed herself and nodded solemnly. First notify Miss Audrey, then we call the police. It's fucking snowing again. I fucking hate this place, dude. Remember last time someone said murmurings? Was it, murmurings? Murmurings? What? Don't you just hear it when you're... Like, didn't Klein hear it when he took sequence 8? Isn't it just all the time? What am I missing? Oh, you're trying to fuck with me. Okay. Make you think of old Neil? Oh, no. I knew old Neil didn't technically hear murmurings, did he? He technically just heard a God whispering to him, telling him, "Oh yes, you should do this, my child. You will have great outcomes." Call the police, Forswell repeated in surprise. To Beyonders, lodging a police report seemed to be something of another world. Gio paced back and forth as she tugged her coarse blonde hair. The scene of Darkholm's death is harrowing and creepy, but as long as the police aren't blind, they would definitely pass the case on to the Punishers, Nighthawks, or the Hive Mind, or Special Department of the military. When that happens, we can leak some info and let them know the murderer is the Admiral. At that point, the entire city will be chasing him. Our goal is only to look for the Admiral, not to capture him. With the help of so many Beyonders, things would become much simpler and safer. Once the Admiral panics and makes a mistake, it would be our chance to claim our bounty. I'm referring to the discovery of his whereabouts. Snow is not that fun at all. Gio laughed dryly and looked at the appalled forest. Do you think that the only way I know how to deal with a problem is by charging into them head first? The difference between us and the Admiral is as vast as the Desi Bay. Fors nodded slowly and said, "Your understanding of yourself is absolutely right. You've done too many things of a similar nature, hence the losses you've suffered are sufficient for you to advance to Sequence 8. Luckily, you're still rational enough regarding this matter." Gio lowered her head to look at the bayonet. She thought for a moment and said, "I have to be honest. I clearly sensed the approach of death earlier. Kilongus was no doubt nearby. There was an evil aura enough to destroy us at the time. It triggered an instinctual response in me. My biggest ambition was to eat snow." Oh, you don't ever want to eat snow, because at the end of the day, you have to remember it's evaporated or like water that went up, so you don't know what's in that water. Trust me, you don't want to eat it. It's so dirty. There's so much bullshit in there. It's just a mess. Trust me. Sorry, give me 1 second. Just doing something. Thank you. Okay. I have to be honest. I sense the approach of death. The Admiral was no doubt nearby. There was an aura evil enough to destroy us at any time. That triggered an instinctual response in me. Forge wore a silver bracelet that had 2 stones left and seriously thought, "I agree with your idea. Let's inform Miss Audrey first and lodge a police complaint after." What is happening? Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just freeze water and eat it. Yeah, much better. Ideally, boil the water so you're not eating some... But, I mean, I guess if you're getting it out of your tap, you would have drank that anyway. So, yeah, just freeze water and eat that. Yeah, it's the same principle. I had a heat stroke yesterday. Jesus Christ. Okay. Force wore her silver... yes. Yes. Regardless, if it was Darkholm or his underling who found the Admiral's traces, we could continue to investigate with that approach and find the Admiral's activity range and the location of his residence. Gio creased her slim blonde eyebrows and said, "But the Admiral would definitely not remain in the same place. Even as one of the 7 pirate admirals, even if he had the assistance of a mystical artifact, he had to be extremely careful in Backland. Even Nast, the king of the 5 seas, once encountered disaster here and was nearly caught. No, what I meant was to surmise or confirm the purpose of the Admiral's visit to Backland based on his clues. Once we know what he's trying to do, no matter how he disguises himself or what tricks he pulls, he'll be exposed to us in the end. Then... our mission would be accomplished, Forrest explained in detail. 2 years of novel writing experience tells me that things would become simple once we grasp the crux of the matter. Jiu looked at her best friend in shock. She couldn't believe the woman who had just made such a logical argument. I'm different from you. Nast, do you have that name written down? I do not. Okay. Alright, give me a second. Nast, King of the 5 Seas. Bro, is everyone important? Is there anyone who gets mentioned that I don't have to write their fucking name down? Holy shit. Oh, for fuck's sakes, you're actually kidding me with this. Seriously, dude? Sorry, I just, for fuck's sakes, sorry, I just got a parking ticket at school. Kill me. Snow is real, yeah, like DSV said, snow is fun, and you have to drive, get rid of the ice on your windshield, or you're heading towards a fucking red light and you try to brake and your shit just skids right into the fucking intersection. Yeah, fuck me, dude. I'm different from you. I'm merely too lazy to think, while you think with your muscles. Teasing me doesn't make you smarter. Gio tried to smooth out the few strands of blonde hair that were sticking out. Alright, let's head to the Empress Burrow and tell Miss Audrey about this. Skill issue, can even park at home. Okay. I was talking about when I was at school yesterday, okay? God. Fours nodded faintly and said, so, what's our emergency contact method with Miss Audrey? She was momentarily put at a loss. She looked far from the tombstone and said, she told me that pet dog of hers we saw earlier walks herself at least 5 times a day. Well, the next walk should be after lunch. In other words, we have to loiter around suspiciously around Count Hall's luxurious manor? Gio suddenly looked sideways and revealed the root word is obscene, but... Or maybe?
Obsequious.
Obsequious. Smile. Force. Or would you prefer to just sneak in? I don't think that would be difficult for you. It's what you're good at. I was once auditing a pharmaceutical company and it took like 2 minutes to check the freezer when I got out. I, on the other hand, would I fare well because I'm Canadian. I fare really well in the winter. In the cold, I do not fare well in the heat. A hereditary count for centuries, one of the most influential members of Parliament in the House of the Lords, the largest shareholder of the Varvant Bank, the 4th largest shareholder of Backland Bank, the special consultant of the Royal Bank of Loan, the 3rd largest... What the fuck are we talking about, bro? I'm not reading all that shit. Those are the titles of Miss Audrey's father, Gio. Use your brain. How could a man like that not employ beyonders? Would he not have any prized collections? This is different from those destitute viscounts and barons. Forbes replied in exasperation, I swear in the name of God, if I were to sneak in, I would be discovered and caught within 5 minutes. Same, I hate the heat in the summer. Yeah, like my favorite season is autumn for sure. Let's wait for the golden retriever then. With that said, she led the way. After she took a few steps, she spoke with her back facing Fours. Well, I will compensate you for your losses and the damages in the future. I was referring to the stone, of course. Listening to that, the corner of Fours' lips lifted and she said, I was saving myself. And Gio, you're going the wrong way. God, if you were an apprentice and ended up becoming a traveler in the future, it would be a disaster. Is the next one after apprentice traveler? Do I have this written down? No, apprentice, then trickmaster. Autumn sounds way too fun, but the thought of dead, wet bark and leaves low-key. Dead, wet barks. Yeah, but the wet bark, yeah, I guess I kind of agree, but like that's a very small nuisance. Leaves, I don't mind at all. Kami, how's it going, man? How you doing? Outside Count Hall's luxurious manor, Forz and Gio hid behind an Intis parasol tree and secretly observed their target behind building in silence, watching the people walk to and fro. After God knows how long, they finally saw the golden retriever come out with a hidden hole under the wall. It pricked up its ears, looked to its left, appearing very cautious. Just as Susie started to walk happily, a black male dog appeared out of nowhere. It fawned on Susie and started running around in circles. This is the first time I'm seeing a dog show such human-like reaction. Just how much does it hate that black dog? She could tell from Susie's gaze and facial expression there was an obvious detest. Forrest smiled and said, "It's like encountering a rash, disgusting and persistent lecher." Seeing Susie attempt to speed up to escape the black dog's pursuit, Gio stood up to administer justice. "My ruling is for you to leave her alone," Gio shouted. The black dog was taken back immediately, scampered away with its tail between its legs. Susie let out a breath of relief and slowed down. It barked politely and wagged its tail. "That was close. I nearly said thank you to them," the golden retriever said in joy. That would have been a very awkward situation. Yeah, it's kind of like if like a monkey was trying to court you, you'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me, dude. You're disgusting." Maybe monkey isn't a good parallel because it's a different species, but even still. You don't know what sequence number Traveler is? Okay. Yeah, but it's part of that same chain then, at least. So I know it's okay. So Traveler is on the list somewhere. Dope. Thanks, Rem. My tropical island ass don't have that much of a temp change. Oh yeah, I guess. Because you have like warm winds and cold winds, so it keeps it pretty steady. Winters also hit -10 frequently. Fall is way too dry and skin gets irritated way too much, so the weather's never good. Yeah, Dr. Z, I assume you guys have like a massive, even in the summer, right? Like massive fluctuation from day to night in terms of temperature? Where am I? Yes, a melodious tune slowly came to a halt as Audrey picked up the latest intelligence she and Forz had delivered and read it with knitted eyebrows. Huge, Kami. Huge. She picked up the piano cover and stood up gently. She paced back and forth in her piano room and considered her next course of action. The Admiral is a dangerous man. If Forz and Gio continued investigating, they might end up in danger. 15-degree fluctuations are common. It might even end up exposing me. Yes, I should proceed according to their suggestion. Oh yeah, it's another 2 hours till the Tarot Club. I wonder what the Fool would suggest. If he's not interested, I'll discuss it with the Hanged Man carefully. Audrey gradually calmed herself down. This was the first time she'd encountered, or perhaps was described as being placed in a perilous situation. There was already one death, 3 in the afternoon. Audrey's vision recovered from a crimson and blurry state before seeing the boundless grey fog that didn't belong to reality, the lofty palace that looked like the home of a giant, the ancient long mottled bronze table, and the Fool who was always engulfed in a thick layer of fog. Lastly, she saw the Hanged Man and the sun. At that moment, Audrey's tense and anxious emotions seemed to relax. She felt so calm, so safe. At that moment, I'm participating in the Tarot Club. That doesn't belong in the material world. I'm dealing with Mr. Fool, who's nearly a god. The Admiral and I are on different levels. Audrey sat up in an upright position proudly. You are on different levels, but he's way above you, not the other way around. She lifted her chin slightly and greeted cheerfully. "Good afternoon, Mr. Fool. Good afternoon, Mr. Hanged Man. Mr. Sun." They greeted one after another. Klein saw that Miss Justice was indicating her desire to speak, therefore he nodded faintly to express his permission. Your god is a sequence 8, yeah, literally. And barely, like this motherfucker just turned sequence 8, bro. the Rear Admiral would eat this guy for lunch. After they greeted, yes, I know. Honorable Mr. Fool, I wonder if your adorer has received the compensation of 300 pounds, Audrey asked, holding back her urge to talk about the Admiral while showing concern over her leader's adorer. Klein smiled and said, I didn't pay close attention to this matter, but as he didn't request additional help, I assume he already received it. Yes. I've checked multiple times. There are 300 pounds in the anonymous account. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that money is so important to Klein. He has to pretend like, oh, I don't really give a shit, really. That's great. Audrey relaxed and looked across. Mr. Hanged Man, there's been progress regarding the Admiral. Alder suddenly sat up straight. He couldn't hide his excitement. Where is he? Unfortunately, he noticed our investigation just after we discovered his tracks. He killed one of the personnel involved. Audrey repeated the highlights of Gio and Forrest's story and explained their follow-up in detail. Alder nodded faintly and said, I'll pay close attention, because Alder is in Backlund now too, right? Yeah, Evil Klein is like, I hate money. Real Klein is like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I will do anything. Wait, hold on. There's a meme for this. Yeah, a normal, Klein in the fucking, thing, in the Tarot Club was like, oh, I don't give a shit about money. I didn't even really consider it. I didn't hear about it, so it's probably fine. And then real Klein is like, nope, not the thing. Go away. Yeah. Klein doesn't want a partner, but 20 pounds is 20 pounds. Ken and Klein, he would do that. All right, hold on. Yes. And then he turned to the side and looked towards the seat of honor at the table. Under the vacant gaze of the son, who listened but didn't understand anything, he said, Honorable Mr. Fool, if I were to find the Admiral's true intention and the very important magical item he tends to obtain, please allow me to recite your name and inform you through a ritual. He didn't repeat his request for the Fool's adorer to provide his assistance, as he brought it up with the Fool and the Fool had given his answer. There was no need to harp on the topic. Otherwise, it may provoke a god. If the final temptation was sufficient, he believed that Mr. Fool's adorer would finally appear. That works? Yeah, Klein would be like me in The Witcher 3. Like you steal from every chest, or I guess any RPG, you just steal from every chest you can when no one's looking. Like you walk into someone's house as an esteemed guest, you steal their silverware, you take their plates, you take everything, okay? Just wait, Klein is too scared of social death. He'd rather act normal and scam the guy. Totally, yeah, that's way better. I should have asked for the right to report as well. I might be able to gain Mr. Fool's guidance occasionally, she thought with regret. Under everyone's gaze, Klein leaned back in his chair and nodded faintly. You may. 179. Praising Mr. Fool. All right, look at that. He'd be happy with that. My God, it's already been 2 hours. All right, give me 2 minutes, guys. Or 2 seconds. I'm just gonna run to the washroom real quick, and then we'll do the next. I'm also gonna play Nerdle when I come back because I just want to give myself a little bit of a rest. It's been 4 chapters now, I think. Go away. All right, give me a second. What did I miss? Okay. 2 deleted messages. Klein started a cult because he was too embarrassed to admit his accident. Yeah, he was like, well, not even embarrassed. He did that, and then he could have just acted like, oh, like, I don't know what's going on either. But instead, he chose to act like the fool. He chose to act like the guy who invited them here. So I wouldn't call it the inviting them was an accident, but after that, it wasn't really embarrassment. It was just pure calculation, right? Like, hey, these guys will probably give me a lot more if they fear me and fear what I can do. So that's probably better. Oops. Audrey heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the fool's answer. He lowered his head and had said humbly, "Please allow me to thank you in advance." That's because I'm also curious about the item the Admiral's searching for. I want to know the item that can allow a sequence 6 to have the strength of 4. I'm also curious what a pirate admiral is doing in Backland. Klein smiled, maintaining his profound posture. It's not like I've promised to provide assistance after I hear your prayers. But now he was a lot more confident than before. Now he had actual allies and the mysterious Mr. Azek, who was currently in Backland. If it was absolutely necessary, Klein was willing to use the bronze whistle to enlist the help of Mr. Azek. Of course, he definitely wouldn't mention the Tarot Club. He'd probably say he got the information from a random source. There were still 2 problems that existed in this manner. First, Klein was only limited to a cooperative relationship with Azek. It wasn't necessarily the case that Azek would provide assistance unless he was interested in what the Admiral was doing or the mystical item he was after. Second, Klein was unsure of just how powerful Azek was. Even if he managed to make the assumption, even if he made the assumption that Azek was a high sequence beyonder, he had to consider the fact that his memory loss might have weakened his abilities. After all, knowledge was power, and the lack of knowledge would definitely diminish Azek's power. If that was the case, Klein couldn't guarantee Azek could deal with the Admiral, especially with the latter wielding the creeping hungry? What is the creeping hungry? Is that the artifact? Klein was afraid that he would be placing Azek in danger, and so he was unwilling to trouble Azek unless he had to. Now that I think about it, Azek's terrifying messenger could be summoned with the bronze whistle. No, that thing doesn't look like a messenger at all. It could take the role of an evil boss. But even if Azek can't beat the creeping hunger, augmented is the artifact. Dope. Even if he can't beat the creeping hunger augmented Admiral, he should be able to defend himself easily and have the power left to save the Hanged Man, Miss Justice, and her partners. Klein shifted his posture as he thought, still leaning against the back of his chair, and propped his right leg over his left. The Hanged Man looked at the fool and spoke again. "I'm about to receive a bunch of pages from the Roselle's diary. I believe I can present them to you in the next gathering, or the one after." According to the arrangement of the Church of Lord of Storm, Pritz Harbor was under the jurisdiction of Backland Diocese. Thus, Audrey could enter the capital and wait for the Admiral to show himself under the guise of reporting about his previous voyage. Backland had been the headquarters of the Church of the Lord of Storm until the end of the last epoch, having shifted their holy altar to Passu Island only after the establishment of the Lone Kingdom. Regardless, the statue of the Church of Lord of Storm in Backland was second only to the headquarters of the 7 great churches. One could imagine the information the Church of Lord of Storms held. Under these circumstances, Audrey was confident that he'd be able to collect pages of Roselle's diary in the name of research. After all, they were indecipherable at the present. Klein allowed joy to color his tone, and he said with a gentle nod, "Very good." What he was really feeling now was a mix of joy and worry, but he was... Oh, good lord. He was happy that he could see several pages of Roselle's diary soon. They may contain a lot of information, but he was also worried about what he had to give the Hanged Man in return. After all, no one knew if the Hanged Man would be interested in the contents of the diary or if the content was valuable enough. Even a seer is unable to determine that in advance. Must I really let my adorer help him? Audrey Hall suddenly spoke up when she saw the conversation between the Hanged Man and the Fool end. I don't know you went anywhere, Romero. What? Honorable Mr. Fool, may I recite your name and inform you using a ritual should I receive any timely information? Dad brought me my Coke. Timely? Look, Miss Justice's choice of words are so defined. Compared to her, you are too vulgar. Alger. Klein nodded slightly, saying, past the fog, you may. Great! Audrey secretly clenched her fist. At the same time, Klein turned to look at the son, Derek, who had been silent listening to their conversation. He spoke, and his tone was peaceful. The same goes for you as well. The ritualistic... The majestic palace was silent for a few seconds before Audrey spoke. I need the complete pituitary gland of a rainbow salamander. One of the main ingredients of the telepathist potion. Alger nodded slightly as if he was contemplating. I don't have it. To be honest, I've only seen the creature in textbooks. The son heard the term automatically translated to him as a phantom netherdrake. What kind of information would discuss a supernatural creature? How envious. I can only get information like that from a Beyonder gathering through word of mouth or through a crumpled piece of paper. There's no system in place, and my search for knowledge lacks organization. I'll find the way to trade for Son's textbooks in the future. Oh, he was interested in the formula for the Bard potion. Audrey thought a little envious. At that moment, Alger looked at the Fool, then retracted his gaze. He then looked opposite and said, I may have a way of obtaining the complete pituitary gland of a rainbow salamander. But it's under the premise that the Admiral is found. When the time comes, the complete pituitary gland of a salamander would be equivalent to the extra compensation I owe you. Miss Justice, you may not know, but these creatures are nearly extinct, and we can only find traces of them in the primitive islands in the sea fog, the Berserk Sea or the Sonia Sea. Not many people have the coordinates to these islands. If you're interested, we can make a deal, for I'm one of the few who knows how to get there. I am also interested in those primitive islands. Klein silently thought. I have my ritualistic VPN malfunctions. Lowering the quality to 240. Oh, sorry. My ritualistic curry flavored coffee. My ritualistic iced coffee and then water when that eventually runs out. Oh, God. Thinking about the extinction of the rainbow salamander, he suddenly recalled a joke he cracked with old Neil. The Dragons and the Giant Protection Association. He let out a sigh in his heart. Audrey became thrilled after hearing that. She fought back her emotions and said, I once dreamed of going on a voyage in search of these primitive islands to take in the history. My goodness, the Tarot Club is too powerful, too wonderful, to be able to recruit a member who has a coordinate of the primitive islands. Praise Mr. Fool. Audrey couldn't maintain her spectator state as she smiled, as a smile crept across her face. Primitive islands? Klein froze for a moment, and then thought about a page of Emperor Rizal's diary that he had seen. The one where Emperor Rizal described himself as a pirate king. Oh, good lord. I would love to take a nap once I'm done, but I have so much shit to do, for fuck's sakes. He said that he discovered an unnamed island with many supernatural creatures when he and his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse were traversing the Sea of Fog on an unsafe sea route. Could that be the so-called primitive island? How unfortunate the great emperor didn't include any coordinates in his diary. Perhaps the information will be in some future pages. But as of now, I haven't received any pages in chronological order. Klein was filled with regret and anticipation. The son Derek was already confused by the terms Sea of Fog, Berserk Sea, Sonia Sea, Primitive Islands, etc. He felt more and more certain that Miss Justice and Hanged Man belonged to a different world. After collecting herself for a few seconds... After collecting herself for a few seconds, Audrey asked curiously, does the near extinction of the rainbow salamander mean the spectator pathway will be severed soon? No, there will definitely be substitute materials. What substitute materials are there? I don't know. Perhaps the members of the psychology alchemists might know. Then how can you be so sure there are substitute ingredients? You will understand in time. Or do you have something to trade for the information right now? I guess I'll wait, Audrey pouted. She also dismissed the idea of asking Mr. Fool. There's no use in me knowing the information for the time being. The Hanged Man will definitely ask about something regarding the Admiral in the future, and I can't be dragged too deep into the matter. She suddenly felt like praising her intellect. Oh, you're so smart. But what she never expected was that the fool was feeling disappointed in that moment. Klein was rather curious about the secrets which Alger's words held. Unfortunately, Miss Justice, who was the best assist all this while, didn't choose to go through with the transaction. No matter what method they chose to perform a transaction, the contents of the deal couldn't be hidden from the owner of the fog self-glaze. Yeah, like holy shit, I'm so smart. Even if the rainbow salamander is near extinction, the psychology alchemists are still giving out formulas listing it as an ingredient instead of providing a substitute. Does that mean they're in possession of the coordinates of the islands? Or could they be working with an organization that has the coordinates? Well, couldn't they just have two fucking salamanders that just procreate in the back or some shit? And just keep a simple farm, bro. Why do you have to make it so complicated? After the end of the transaction discussions, Klein looked around, turned to the sun, and said in a gentle tone, does the City of Silver still believe in gods? Klein was merely an official member of the Nighthawks and had no access to deeper mysticism knowledge. An example would be sacrificial materials. Okay, fine, then they have 10 salamanders, bro. Or like 50, fine, whatever. God, Kami, you're missing the forest for the trees here, man. Thus, in order to refine his understanding of performing sacrificing dedicated to himself to move materials into the mysterious space, as a sequence 8, Klein needed to learn it as soon as possible from other sources. He came up with 3 methods after continuous consideration. He was going to ask Spirit Guide Daly, who was adept at ritualistic magic, while also being a deacon. But this might invite suspicion from her. Thus, Klein could only patiently wait for an opportunity. Thus, he could ask Mr. Azek, but Klein couldn't guarantee that he would be able to recall this area of knowledge. Third, he was going to use a roundabout way to ask the son, who lived in the City of Silver. Klein already had an idea how he was going to do it while effectively maintaining his image. Whatever he asked would be tied to the gods. Derek replied in a respectful tone, we still believe in the Lord that created everything, the omnipotent, omniscient God. Hey, Ramiro, your guy. Well, that's what he's saying. You need an island for that since they don't have the technology yet to breed animals anywhere they want? Really? Two different gods. The God who created everything, wouldn't that just be the true creator? Smart person always overthinks. Okay, this seems... it's another... Oh my god, give me a short chapter, man. My throat's killing me. The true creator believes in the Lord. Romero believes in the true creator. The son believes in the Lord who created everything. Is that not the same fucking thing? The true creator claims to be the second coming of the omnipotent creator, but have different names. Alright, I'll take your word for it. I don't fucking know. Oh my god, I was doing this today? I thought this was... Oh, I was doing this at night, wasn't I? So those was it after midnight? Fuck. When are they doing this? Ukraine. What is... Ukraine. Bottom down of Ukraine. Greece? But Greece doesn't have oil. Oh, give me a better idea. Okay, that is better. Greece. They will just attack each other if you put them together, unless they're in the reproduction phase, and the phase is very, very short. How the fuck do you guys know this? How do you just know the reproductive cycles of the rainbow salamander? What are we doing here? Oh, I don't know. What's just below Spain? I don't know. Portugal? What the fuck? Okay, I was never gonna get Gibraltar. Oh, sorry. Let me. Okay, I was missing. I was missing some context. Hold on. I was missing some context. Okay. Ramiro isn't replying. Maybe the Beyonder creatures are like the scorpions. Oh, I see. Sorry. I don't know, Dr. Z. You guys are fucking sitting here telling me that, the Balam Kingdom or some shit is in the fucking southern continent. I don't know how much you guys know about this world. This shit is fucked, dude. What are we doing here? Upon hearing the fool's question, Audrey pricked up her ears and entered her spectator state, waiting for the sun to answer. She had always been curious about where the City of Silver was and what was so special about the place, but she couldn't ask herself to bring it. Yeah, you see, read Ramiro's message. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Like, what? I could ask this motherfucker. Okay, I could ask. Okay, Ramiro, what? When did World War II start? I'm curious if he knows this date. But he'll know when the fucking colonial war of this fucking Southern Kingdom started or some shit. Yeah, why the fuck would I know that? You see what I mean, bro? Come on, what are we doing here? My fucking god, bro. Okay, do you at least remember the year? Like, okay, you don't have to remember the exact date, but like, do you remember the year? Does World War II have epic Beyonders? Didn't. Silly me. Very close, Romero. 39. No. Fuck. No. Okay, thank God. 39 to 45. Yes. 14 to 18. All I know for World Wars. All I need to know for World Wars. Okay, well, at least you know when they started and ended, so that's something, Kami. Nah, that's better than most people do, so you get a pass for that. I don't know this shit. Fuck you, Romero. God. Yes. At that moment, Mr. Fool was asking personally. It was like finishing the first volume of an outstanding detective novel she had been reading for a long time, and she finally had the chance to buy the next volume. The Sun didn't disappoint. They didn't believe in the mainstream 7 orthodox deities, but they did believe in death as the Southern Kingdom did. They also didn't believe in the hidden existences, evil gods, or devils, primordial demonists, hidden sage, the dark side of the universe, chained god, or the true creator, which the Hanged Man had told her before. Now, most people know the date of both World Wars, right? I doubt it, dude. Doubt it. Like, okay, listen, I don't expect you to know it was September 1st, 1939. No problem. But, like, 1939, you should know that. Come on. What, bro? That they don't believe in the deities? Yeah, fuck it. I'll just remember it. No, it's fine. Or I'll ask you guys. I don't know. The City of Silver is really special, but for fuck's sakes, I'll write it. Okay. What the actual fuck is the dark side of the universe? Whatever it is, that's such a cool name. I believe in that now. Whatever that is. I don't know. Okay. The City of Silver is really special. They actually worship the creator himself. That is the primordial worship that Mr. Hanged Man described, right? The description of the omnipotence is a little strange. Audrey stole a glance at the Hanged Man subconsciously and realized that he was nodding slightly. Klein wasn't surprised at all. He purposely chuckled and asked in reply, "Even though he abandoned you? Can an evil god worshipper?" Wait, hold on. How do we know he's evil, bro? Oh, Dr. Z. No, I wasn't searching anything. Sorry. I was just making notes. Dark Side of the Universe is way too cool of a name for an evil god. Exactly. Look at that thing. That's such a dope name. What the fuck? Yeah, but of the universe, bro. That'd be like saying, like... Actually, no. Dark Side, I can't think of... because there's dark in the name. Okay, well, you know what, DSV? That's racist, okay? So, you know what? Think about that. Abandoned, the creator abandoned the City of Silver. Audrey was shocked. Suddenly, when he made the connection regarding a particular term. Kami, no! Kami, no! The Forsaken Land of the Gods. In the confidential information of the Church of the Lord of Storm at the security clearance, at the security level that Alger had, who was a captain, equivalent to that of a bishop, could access the Forsaken Land of the Gods, had always been a name with no actual description. However, it was clearly pointed towards the end of the Sonia Sea. From what he knew, even the cardinals at the core of the church had no idea what the Forsaken Land of the Gods represented. But only the leader of the church, the proxy of the Lord of Storm, knew something about the situation and seemed to be taking charge of the hidden mission to look for the Forsaken Land of the Gods. My lawyer has advised me not to finish that joke. Alger had once made a bold guess when he equated the true creator's holy residence, which was promoted by the Aurora Order, with the Forsaken Land of the Gods. But unfortunately, the fool hadn't confirmed his guess, so he was unsure. Wait, hold on. So Alger thinks the true creator's holy residence is the Forsaken Land of the Gods, I think, is what that means. Now he was shocked and surprised to see that the Terror Club member using the sun as his codename was very likely from the land of Forsaken Land of the Gods. Mr. Fool knew where the Forsaken Land of the God was all this time, and he could pull someone from there to be a member of the Gathering. That is, this is a hidden place that the Church of the Lord of Storm has been trying to find to no avail. Audrey looked at the fool, who was seated at a seat of honor at the ancient table in horror. He could only see that he was leaning back in his chair in silence, engulfed in a thick fog. Audrey wasn't particularly moved about it. The only time she had heard of the Forsaken Land of the Gods was from the Hanged Man's question. She wasn't particularly interested, so she failed to associate it with anything from what the fool said earlier. Well, so I came to realize in yesterday's stream. You guys, hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me just pull it up really quickly. So when I was I realized this during the stream yesterday. So when we were I was shown the symbols of all the churches and stuff, I said like, oh, like I'll follow the one that looks the coolest, and I said the one that looks the coolest is the Lord of Storm. And then someone mentioned, I think it was Dr. Z that mentioned, or maybe someone else mentioned it, that the Lord of the Storm is the least progressive religion, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not very much a feminist in this scenario then, so I can't do that one. So I can't do that one because that makes me a bad person. So then we move on to my second choice, the God of Combat. I don't know anything about that one yet, so we're going to stick with that one until we find out there's some weird shit with that one too. Then we'll switch again. Fuck it. I have no morals, no quandaries. Fuck it. I don't care. Believe in gods. I don't even believe in myself. I believe in the true creator. Hey, listen, when I eventually get rid of all the major churches, we will then move on to the true creator, okay? But until then, we're just going to cycle through them one by one. Actually, there is none except the Evernight at all, in terms of, like, that's actually, oh, for fuck's sakes, okay. No, we are all lambs in the Lord's eyes. Yeah, I don't want to be a fucking lamb, bro. I want to be a person. I don't feel like that's, I'm asking a lot here. The City of Silver has the legend of being abandoned by the creator. Mr. Hanged Man seems to be deeply affected. What is he so amazed and afraid of? Audrey nodded in puzzlement as she remembered the details of the movement. Stay away from the true creator. Yes, we believe we will regain the Lord's favor in the end. Perhaps it will be on the day the sun rises again. Derek answered in an uncertain tone. We were once ruled by the giant's royal family, and we worshipped the giant king Armor. Later, when we were saved by the Lord, we were saved by the Lord, and we will never betray the Lord again. Alright, I'm sure someone's going to tell me to write this shit down, so let me write it down. Land forsaken by the gods, ruled by the royal family, worshipped the giant king Armir, were saved by the Lord, omnipotent God, and we will never betray the Lord again. The school Melissa goes to is under the god of church and machinery. They're all progressive to a degree. It's just Evernight is the most. Storm is the least. Yeah, but that shit they said in that fucking meeting that that Melissa went to is a no-go from me. Okay, here's the thing for what you were saying, Dr. Z. So I'm assuming the Lord of the Church of Steam and Machinery is pretty progressive because, like, she's going to school, she's getting good learning, she wants to be an engineer, like, really cool. But this symbol is dog shit, okay? If I cycle through all of them, I will eventually get to this one. This will be my last choice. But this looks like dog shit, bro. I don't know who designed this, but fire that man. Put him in jail. This is a crime against your God. This is disgusting. Do better. Um, hold on. Yes. Ruled by the Giants royal family, it really is ancient, but it doesn't seem to match. Audrey, who had guessed at something, suddenly recalled the description about the second epoch in the hidden chapter of the Book of Storms. Oh, God. The second epoch was known as humanity's dark epoch. At the time, the sky, ocean, and land were ruled over by the dragons, giants, elves, mutants, dragons, phoenix, demonic wolves, and dead spirits. But in the end, the Lord of Storm, EBS, and the God of Knowledge and Wisdom led humanity to defeating the supernatural creatures, and ushered in the age of the third epoch, the glorious era, which is known as the Cataclysm. Okay, hear me out. So, the Evernight Goddess didn't help during the Dark Epoch, so why do people pray to her? Is she like the newest of the gods? Who the fuck is this? What did the other... Steven Machinery don't give a fuck about gender. They just want everyone to start inventing. They're like, listen, I don't give a shit about you, okay? Work on those gears. Man, woman, child, who gives a shit? Get in those mines. Dig that coal up. The children yearn for the mine. That's what I say. In various legends and myth, it was a great existence on par with the deities. Even now, there are places that still worship him. Even the most famous and expensive grape wine in Intis Republic was named after him. It was said the Giant King particularly fancied grape wine, which was like blood. Considering the fact that the Church of the God of Combat is in control of the complete pathway of the warrior, which once belonged to the Giants, can I assume that Ormir is the ancient god of combat? Okay, you know what? I was right. God of Combat, my new favorite. Holy shit, look at that. The pathway of the warrior? That's the one I want every time. Keep your fucking spirit pendulum bullshit away from me, brother. Give me a big-ass sword. We're gonna be guts. That's it. He nodded deliberately, but didn't think any further. He then calmly asked, do you still offer sacrifices to the omnipotent god? Yes, we still do. But since the day we were abandoned, we've never gotten a response. Derek's voice had a hint of unconcealed pain. She and Mother Earth were born later, and Steam Machinery is the youngest, born in the 5th epoch. Ah, I see. Thank you, Dr. Z. Klein leaned against the back of his chair leisurely. He closed his eyes and said, describe the process of your offering ritual in detail. You better remember this stuff? What? Oh, yeah, I guess I should write that down. Hold on. For fuck's sake. So Ramir's like threatening me, like, you better remember this, bro. Holy shit. Church of God of Combat is in control of the... Does Mr. Fool want to figure out the way behind the City of Silver's abandonment, or does he want to determine if the creator still exists? Audrey felt a shock through his body as he quivered. Not only was he afraid, but he was also excited. This was because he felt that he was being made privy to the secrets between deities. This made him feel like he had been elevated to a whole nother level. I've been chasing power. I've been chasing after power, strength. Didn't I do it to achieve this kind of feeling? Audrey leaned back, lifted his chin, and got carried away with his thoughts. Mr. Hangedman's mental state doesn't seem to be normal. Audrey looked at him with pity. She finally understood there would be some kind of shocking secret between the communication of Mr. Fool and the Sun, which led to the Hanged Man's loss of composure. Also, do you remember when... Yes, I do remember that. Yes, I have it in my notes that they hate each other, I think. Hate. Fight. No, for fuck's sakes, where is my note? God, I'm gonna have to fucking organize my thoughts eventually. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, the Evernight Goddess did help humanity. I can see why people pray to her. Legends say Evernight Goddess, Gaia, God of Combat, Lord of Storm, Blazing Sun, and God of Knowledge protected humanity from the Cataclysm in the Third Epoch. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Where does it say they hate each other? That's in here. Lord of EBS, Lord of Storm, and God of Knowledge have poor relations. They see each other enemies. Evernight Church and God of Combat are also at odds. That's what's in my notes at the moment. Are the notes even? No, my notes are literally in whichever order shit pops up. I've just been writing it. I'm gonna have to organize it eventually. Control F would work. I just don't know what the fuck I'd be searching for. But yeah, I found it. It's all good. After the Admiral commission is over, I'll pay the price to get information about what Mr. Hangman learned today. I wonder if he'd be willing to, Audrey thought in anticipation. Derek didn't notice the weight that was hanging on his answer as he replied frankly, "We built opulent altars covered in the Lord's symbol. Every time we receive a bumper black-faced grass harvest, we hold a sacrificial ritual." Now, if you do type out whole sentences, no shit, it's in bad shape, write them like actual notes. Fuck that, Kami. I do what I want. I'm just going to have to organize it by like subheadings. Like, okay, this is for sequences. This is for history. This is for geography. This is for other shit. I don't know. I'm going to have to organize it that way, or like characters and stuff. But right now it's just in like linear order as I'm coming across shit. So I got to organize that and then make it look a little pretty too. They don't complain when you're lost in there. Hey, fuck you. Okay. I will just brute force my way through it. It's fine. In the end, we sing praises in unison and end the ritual. No, wait. We use monsters. We capture the depths of the darkness to use as sacrificial offerings. After we recite God's honorable titles and the necessary prayers, we dance for him, then kill the monsters to let their spirituality and tainted blood dye the entire altar. If we haven't caught any monsters, then we use a sinner on the lowest floor in the City of Silver prison instead. Then we turn the very first batch of black-faced grass into food and serve it before the Lord. In the end, we sing praises in unison and end the ritual. Okay, listen. I haven't remembered everything, but I feel like I've been pretty good now. Like, I've been pretty good. It's all right. Half the people in the stream are living, breathing encyclopedias. I'm never gonna know half as much as Ramiro. I'm never gonna know as much as Ramiro or like Dr. G's Forgotten. Like, it's fucking wild. It's just never. And like, cause I'm not reading this 3 fucking times. It's not happening. I don't have the fucking time for it. I'm gonna read it once. I might read COI. I don't know. Might get to it later. I might. What's probably gonna happen is I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna take a break from just web novels for a little bit at least. Cause oh my fucking god, this is so long. Is peak experience, dude. Oh my god. And then I might want to read like either Shadow Slave or Reverend Insanity. I don't know. They're both really long, so I might want to do like a little. If you remember the little details over 800,000 chapters, then you can skip the writing part. Oh, dope. Like I would love to read one of those, but they're so long. I might want to take like a hiatus in between and then maybe do like maybe a short novel like Kami said, or I might want to do like a really nice manhwa or something that we can read, like or manga. I don't know. Like someone put in I can't remember who it was, but Usogai, I think it was the name of the manga in the Discord or whatever. I haven't read that. That might be pretty good. I don't know how good it is. Perfect time, Ram. Aura is loved by many, but reading short novels sometimes. Some of them are great. Perfect run. Cool. Yes. Since I was planning to offer a sacrifice to myself, I'm not picky about time, and the altar can be as simple as possible. The most important part would be to open a channel with the aid of a monster's spirituality, or the blood containing Beyonder powers to complete the sacrificing offering. What is Mother of Learning? What? Of course, this is under the premise that one will receive a response. How extravagant. Klein used his mysticism knowledge to analyze every step of a sacrificial ritual in the City of Silver before finally saying, oh, that's a novel? Only 109 chapters? We can try that too. Like 109, that'd be like 2 weeks maybe. I can finish that shit real quick. And depends how long the chapters are too, I guess. What are the corresponding prayers? What language do you recite them in? Derek was also looking forward to answering this so as to gain hints from knowledge on how to shake off the curse, so he recalled and answered, we use Jotun, which is our common language. The corresponding prayers are, your devoted believers pray for your attention. We pray for you to take our offerings. We pray for you to open the gates to your kingdom. Oh, it's really long. Oh, they're really long chapters. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Or thrice the length of LOTM chapters. I want to go to sleep. Klein listened to... Okay, you know what? Fuck this. No, never. No, stop. Okay, whenever I finish LOTM, or maybe like in the middle, once I want to take a little break, we're gonna do a manga, okay? Because I need less reading. My throat needs a break. I can't do this. Or and maybe some gaming streams too. Man, fuck. Klein, for fuck's sake. Klein listened in silence and intentionally let the engulfing fog slowly swirl around him. He nodded as though deep in thought and remained silent. As for what he learned, he obviously wouldn't share it. Audrey found it very, very normal. How could the secrets of a deity be revealed directly to a mortal? Derek also steeled his resolve to quickly grow in power, so that he could obtain something that could garner Mr. Fool's interest in exchange for more guidance. After some more communication, Klein ended the gathering. He watched just as Hangman and the sun's figure vanished before him. He looked down, and the boundless grey fog and crimson stars that seemed eternally immutable. However, after he advanced to sequence 8, he realized he could interact with even more stars. In other words, pull in more members, at least 2. Whoa! Dope. Okay. He wasn't in a hurry to add new members. He planned to act as he had before, wait and observe. If Justice and the Hanged Man had any recommendations, he could assess them first. Could we get Milos's Miss Fours in here? What I saw the last few times was when the sun was praying. There was a crystal clear ball before him. But ever since I pulled them into the world above the grey fog, the crystal ball has never appeared again. Does the prerequisite needed to pull people through in the connection of the Crimson Star have something to do with a special item around them? Or does every Crimson Star respond to an item in reality, which, when it successfully connects, would return to the world above the grey fog? We're on 180 at the moment. By the way, I don't believe I've seen you here before. Thanks for popping by. How you doing today? Excuse me? Thank you. Sorry, my second monitor just went on the spritz. Klein didn't stay any longer. He wrapped himself with his spirituality and stimulated a descent, leaving the lofty palace and the ancient table and the 22 high-backed chairs, which sat immutably above the grey fog. Yeah, well, we're happy to have you. He had mastered the overflowing power of the clown potion and eliminated the corresponding negative effects. Therefore, he wanted to try the ritual to summon himself. I wonder what I'll conjure this time, Klein thought in anticipation and fear as he fell through the mad ravings. 2 more. Oh my god, they're just going to be long chapters now, aren't they? Holy shit. Okay. Okay, well, we will get through it, and then today we should end off at like 188, and then tomorrow I might just push it once again and just try to get to 199, and then that way on Tuesday we can do that long ass stream from 200 to 214, and then get volume 1 done. Look at that. We're making good progress. Different state. Klein didn't hurry to dispel the wall of spirituality when he returned to his room. Instead, he expertly took out a candle infused with sandalwood and placed it in the middle of his desk. He then followed the steps for this ritual, lighting up the candle with his spirituality and scattering essences, extract, and herb powder, symbolizing good luck and mystery. He saw the flame alternate between dull and bright as he took in the fragrance of peace and harmony. Easy must be scared of you, because he's doing Hey, I wouldn't use scared, because it'd be good if we were on the same area. No, that'd be based as fuck. But it is good for you guys. You guys are getting so much more content. Good for good for you guys. You guys are winning doubly. Can you make a guess how many strong angels and gods there are? When you say angels, what do angels mean? Have we heard anything about this? Did it say like sequence 1 Beyonders are angel? If you clip your Altium reaction, Chinese fans are gonna translate the shit out of it to post on Bilibili. He said how strong they are, not. Oh, I'm. How strong? What the fuck? Can you guess how strong they are? Well, like, I don't even know how to reference that. Like, what do you mean? Like, what could they do? I don't know. Can they, like... Okay, let's think. Okay, sorry. Let me just try to think about this. So sequence 9 Beyonder can generally just get like basic enhancements to their physical or spiritual attunement. As you get higher up, you're going to get more and more attuned spiritually, because your physical strength would reach like a epitome, and then you'd kind of be topped out. So you'd get a lot of spiritual upgrades. So let's say spiritual upgrades. What could you do if you got a huge spiritual upgrade? Can you like... Okay, because like done as a sequence 7 can enter people's dreams, which is already fucking conceptually wild to think about, right? So let's go better than that. What the fuck would you... Can you just like if like I would imagine the upper sequence of like a fucking spectator class could just like absolutely make someone go batshit fucking insane. Like just if they're a low level like sequence 9 Beyonder or a regular human, they would just enter their mind and just fucking scramble and like fucking French fry their brains. I don't even have a frame of reference. I don't even know how to answer that. He saw, yes. Klein took 2 steps back and looked at the candle on the table. He then shouted in the language of the giants, I. After a pause, he switched to Hermes. I summon in my name, the fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the grey fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. At that moment, the flickering flame fused itself with a harmonious scent to form an illusory vortex, a vortex that manically absorbed the spirituality. After Klein recited the incantation, the vortex stabilized to become a palm-sized circle of grayish-white fog. Fuck off. After observing the fog, Klein took 4 steps counterclockwise without hesitation. He returned to the world above the grey fog, and as he expected, he saw ripples of light spreading out from his high chair, accentuating the mysterious aura of the weird symbol, the pupilless eye that partially contorted lines on the back of his chair. He took in a deep breath and calmed his soul using cogitation before extending his hand towards the target. At that moment, he heard the incantation that he had just recited. He saw the surging spirituality and the rippling light to fuse to form an illusory door. Compared to the previous time, the door was now completely formed and etched full of mysterious patterns. Oh, because he got a sequence 8, so he can now make like a door of summoning. The pattern was the same as the symbol on the back of the fool's chair, a symbol made of a pupilless eye and partially contorted lines. As he looked at the door, Klein focused his mind and willed the door open. I gotta reread this so I can read the sequel. Holy shit, man. Sucks that the author got burnt out after book 2 and couldn't continue. Wait, has Cuttlefish said that he would like to make this a trilogy? The sounds of, without warning, ripples formed in the eternally immutable grayish-white fog in the majestic palace, like a stone being cast in a peaceful pond. The ripples spread in the direction of the summoning of the door of summoning. The sound of heavy scraping sound caused by friction could be heard. A slit appeared in the heavy, mysterious door. Beyond it, one could faintly see an immensely dark world, filled with countless indescribable transparent figures. There were also streaks of different colors, lustrous splendor that harbored infinite knowledge. At that moment, Klein felt an unimaginable, irresistible, attractive force coming from beyond the door. He couldn't help but get pulled to it. No, there will be no book 3. He did say that, but the book ended with book 2. Oh, book 3 was going to be a big side story, basically. I see. Damn, are you not giving me the choice? Just as he heard that alarming thought, his body went through the slit and vanished into the darkness behind the door. The dizzying, maniacal roars gradually died down. Klein came to his senses. He saw a young man in front of him. The young man was wearing an old shirt, had brown hair, black hair, brown eyes, average-looking facial features, average build, but was a little skinny. But his frame seemed to hide considerable power. He also had the obvious demeanor of a scholar. Isn't that me? Yeah, well, obviously, no shit, you're the one who summoned yourself, dumbass. Klein wasn't a stranger to scenes like this. He encountered something like this every time he looked in the mirror. He nodded indescribably and surveyed his surroundings. He saw the bed with a white bedsheet draped over it. He saw his top hat, tuxedo, black windbreaker hanging on the clothes rack. He saw a bookshelf with quite a number of books, with his neat table that only had a candle on it. He saw the candle flame emitting a grayish-white glow, and now he was floating in the front of the palm-sized circle of grayish-white fog. Have I really summoned myself? It feels a little like an out-of-body experience. But there's also something a little different. Klein looked at the physical body belonging to him towards his blank, vacant eyes and slipped into deep thought. But he could confirm one thing. It was only his soul, his body, also known as a spirit body in mysticism, that headed to the world of fog. The exterior appearance was that of astral projection. He's getting ready for a new book? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, sorry, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna fill my water. Just drink all of it, and then we'll get through the last 2 chapters. I'll be back in 2 seconds, okay? Real sorry. I'm back. Sorry. Dude, what in the fuck are all these abbreviations, man? I don't understand any of them. Okay. It's no wonder that I can directly see the astral projection surface of Justice, Hangman, and the Sun and confirm whether they were Beyonders or not when I was in the world above the grey fog. I could also guess their sequence numbers. My physical body seems to be under some sort of protection, perhaps from the power of the ritual, for me to stand with such stability and not lose balance. It should be the same for Justice and the others. Klein slowly got used to the situation and started to analyze the situation of both his physical body and soul. He retracted his gaze and tried to move his body, now fused with the powers of from the mysterious space. A cold wind started to blow as he spiraled around the room. Klein savored the sensation of flying, joyfully making circles in his room. I could also take her on the role of a messenger in this city now. I wonder if I can carry physical items with me. He collected himself and stopped. He floated in the air and experimented with his other abilities. He tried to grab a note from his bookshelf, but his hand passed through it. It feels a little sticky. It's not like I'm moving through air. I might be able to grab it after I become more powerful and am able to better utilize the powers of the world above the grey fog. Klein once again tried to grab a single piece of paper, but to no avail. After more than 10 seconds of deliberation, he flew towards the clothes rack and extended his transparent hand into the pocket of his black windbreaker. What is TOMA? Throne of Magical Arcana. I see. He touched the slumber charms and the requiem charms that he replenished from a successful claim. They were objects infused with his own spirituality, different from ordinary objects in spiritual terms. Thus, Klein wanted to see if he could carry them. His palm once again went straight through, but he could clearly feel their existence. He felt the intertwining of his spirituality, but he didn't have enough strength to pick them up. Of course, another explanation was that there wasn't enough spirituality in the charms to achieve a strong resonance with his current state. The spirituality isn't strong enough. Klein moved towards the other pocket, the flaring sun charm that he made with the stolen power of divine blood and his spirituality. A warm sensation quickly spread through his body, making his form turn more stable and his thoughts clearer. He could take the thin gold piece of out of his pocket. In the mirror in his room, the charm seemed to float out of the pocket on its own, seeming similar to the descriptions of ghost stories. I can move the flaring sun charm. I can also create sound using my spirituality. So I do have some abilities in this state. He saw that only the thin piece of gold piece was reflected. Other than that, it was only the furniture and darkness in the room caused by the drawn curtains. After a few seconds of consideration, he placed the flaring sun charm on the bed before returning to the front of the mirror. He wanted to see if he could move through the mirror. His vision turned dark, his vantage point suddenly changed. He saw the room that was reflected in the mirror, the furniture that was accentuated by the weak sources of light. It made him feel as though he was hiding in an obscure corner, peeping into a tiny portion of the room. I really can go through the mirror, but this is only an ordinary item which doesn't lead to some mysterious and strange world. Klein nodded and charged forward, once again returning to his room. With the success of carrying the sun charm gave him immense confidence, hence he tried to grab something else. Mr. Azek's copper whistle. I wouldn't try that. The moment he touched the ancient and intricate object, he felt his spirituality expanding and freezing. His illusory eyes turned into dark, burning flames. It's like I've gotten a little more powerful. My form is like a wraith's, but without the strong presence of vengeance. Klein projected his current appearance by calming his mind. This was one of the abilities of the clown. Mr. Azek's copper whistle, it sure is fascinating. He nodded, noticing that he could now pick up pieces of paper with certain weights. He could also pick up his slumber charms. Interesting. How unfortunate. I can carry the silver ritual dagger, but the revolver's too heavy. Klein concluded his experiments and turned to see if he could use any spells in this state. After serious tests, he concluded that he could conjure 2 spells, the first being a formless howl that could shake the souls of his target, and the second was inducing a state akin to freezing via contact with the target. Klein came to a satisfied stop. He looked out the oriel window towards the sunlight and the street covered by the curtain. I wonder if I can move during the day in this state, he muttered as he floated towards the window. Yes. He then carefully lifted the curtains, creating a slit and allowing a small amount of sunlight to pass through the wall of the spirituality and into the room. Under the radiant sunlight, Klein felt his soul boil with a black fog. Jesus Christ, what? His powers were also being drained away, bit by bit. He quickly released his grip, allowing the curtain to block the sunlight. I can't, Klein thought for a moment, then placed his gaze onto the flaring sun charm. I wonder if it would be the same effect if I'm augmented with the divine blood of the EBS. He floated towards the bed and tried to grab the thin piece of gold. But just as he touched it, just as he touched the charm, the pure warm feeling formed a contrast with his burgeoning cold spirituality. It was like an existential conflict between fire and water. Sizzle. He tossed the piece of gold away as if he had been burned. The power of Mr. Isaac's copper whistle cannot inhabit my soul at the same time as the flaring sun charm. Klein understood as he set down the copper whistle. So whatever Isaac's whistle is, it's like damn near as strong as something as that is formed with the blood of a god. He felt his spirituality shrink and the black flames in his eyes extinguish. In this state, both the spells I can use have been weakened. After another round of experimentation, Klein grabbed the flaring sun charm, once again feeling the stabilizing, warm, purifying effects the charm had on his body. He returned to the window and cautiously moved the curtain. The sunlight only felt warm, but it didn't inflict harm. Not bad. Klein let out a mixed smile. He made his way past the wall of spirituality, cautiously flew out of the house with the intention of conducting more experiments. So he can do astral projection now. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta watch the first episode of not really, because the sun charm actively farms wraiths. Oh, I see. Harms wraiths. I see. While the whistle helps them. Okay, so it's like a plus-minus sort of situation. I see. Okay. All right. Last one. We're making really good progress, man. We're gonna be on 200. I think my first stream was like 50 to 55 or some shit. That's wild. Okay. God, my throat is really killing me now. Let's finish this. The weather in Tingen turned from refreshing cold to a bitingly chill in early September. However, the sunlight at 3 or 4 in the afternoon was still warm and soothing. Klein went through the wall of spirituality in the oriel window. He floated in the air outside of his bedroom as he overlooked the people, the carriages shuffling to and fro Daffodil Street. Just then, there was a man in grey labor uniform who suddenly lifted his head and looked over. Klein panicked and wanted to hide, but he couldn't find any suitable cover. When he didn't see anything to hide behind, he started to sneak back into the house. However, good lord. From the corner of his eye, he saw the man earlier merely glanced over the window. Then his gaze followed a flying sparrow, but unfortunately he lost sight of it. In Tingen, birds could be seen occasionally. I forgot that an ordinary person couldn't see me. Klein let out a breath of relief and felt that he had to get used to the situation. Almost. Yes, I agree, Yark. Yeah, there's been no, like, fan service. Well, I'm not gonna say no, but, like, very little. It's, yeah, so it's very, it reminds me of, like a Studio Ghibli film where, like, women are just people. They're just characters like everyone else. They're not just there because they're, like, pretty, or, like, they're not, like, window dressing, which is a wild sentence to say, but it's like, I don't know. It feels like really hard for a lot of writers to do. As he grew more confident, he flew lower and went to a nearby spacious street, where he floated above people's heads. As he drew closer, Klein immediately realized that his vision was the same as his spirit vision. There was no need for him to activate it, but there was a huge restriction to its range. Also, besides the aura and emotional colors, he could faintly feel the existence of everyone's soul. They were blurry, illusory, and transparent. In this state, I think I could bypass a person's body and directly attack their soul. He circled around and prepared to test his fastest speed. He flew around the Iron Curtain Street with all his strength. It didn't take long before he came to a halt and arrived outside the apartment he used to stay in. It should be about the speed of a car on a highway. Bro, this motherfucker's going 100 kilometers an hour? It's a pity that I still can't go in and out of the spirit world. Otherwise, it'd be perfect. But if I were to be lost in the spirit world, it said that the consequences are dire. Just as Klein finished his self-evaluation, he felt low-spirited and gloomy. There was an unspoken presence. He looked around and felt that Iron Street was engulfed with gloominess that ordinary people could see, a darkness that the sunlight couldn't dispel. There were layers of numbness, despair, pain, and other emotions overlapping. As though they were corporeal. It feels just like... He's not talking... Wait, what? It's talking about how fast he can go, right? At his peak? Like in the spirit form, no? It felt just like what I experienced when using spiritual perception on the street. When I first became a seer, Iron Cross Street's Middle Street and Lower Street hasn't changed to this day. I wonder how many years it took to accumulate such oppression and gloominess. Klein recalled the past and sighed as he flew up to the third floor of the surrounding building. He suddenly felt sunlight and shook off his depression. Klein flew across the lower street, and from time to time he would see residents who were dressed in tattered clothing, looking expressionless and malnourished. He even ran into two bodies that had died of natural causes, prolonged starvation and malnutrition, with a sudden infliction of an illness. There were countless people who died in agony every month. However, the bankrupt farmers and slaves that surged in from the southern continent replaced them quickly. Klein sighed in relief and changed his direction and flew south. That was the industrial area of Tingen, the steelworks, lead factories, ceramic factories, printing factories, metalwork factories, machine construction factories, and other factories all built right next to each other. As he flew, Klein saw towering chimneys. He saw dust filling the air and a thick gloominess that was only slightly better than that of the lower street. It was filled with emotions of exhaustion, pain, pessimism, and numbness. Laborers who were in their 30s were still considered the minority. Just as Klein wanted to fly over to look at the area more closely, he suddenly felt weak, a weakness that came from inside him. My spirituality can't withstand the duress. Klein became alarmed. He was in a hurry to return home, but he suddenly thought of a better possibility. I was summoned out. If I were to end the summoning, I would return naturally. He calmed himself down and carefully felt the surrounding environment and his status. Unsurprisingly, he discovered something that was connected to him from infinitely far away, but infinitely close to him. It formed an intricate tether to him. Through this connection, Klein clenched the sun charm tightly and willed the strong desire to end the summoning. A massive and terrifying suction overwhelmed him as his figure went from transparent to nearly invisible, and in a flash he vanished from the corporeal world. Silence was everywhere in the boundless grey fog, and there were illusory crimson stars that twinkled. Klein reappeared in the lofty palace that looked like the home of a giant. As he sat in the seat of honor in the ancient table, the procedure went well. Furthermore, he looked at his spirit body in pleasant surprise and saw that it contained a warm and pure gold portion, the flaring sun charm. I actually brought something into the corporeal world above the grey fog. He held the charm with a smile and fiddled with it to make sure it wasn't illusory. Klein stood up and paced back and forth, feeling completely gratified. He thought to himself in anticipation. As expected, ingredients and items can be brought into the mysterious space. I just need to find the correct way. Ramiro, I'm going to be a real pain in the ass and just say, just watch the Dune movies, man. However, this method is quite complicated. It needs me to do quite a bit before it reaches the destination. Furthermore, if I were to be summoned by the members all the time, it would damage my image. I could only do that occasionally, or, after I understand it more, I can design an incantation that summons the fool's adorer, but it will similarly be directed at me. I'm not some born laborer. Why must the incantation point to me? When the time comes, I can conjure what seems like a messenger or a more unique adorer, and let it deal with the dispatch and collection of materials. Ideas popped up one after another as Klein contemplated, but due to the limitation of his capabilities and knowledge, he couldn't put them into practice just yet. As he became even weaker, Klein didn't dare stay any longer. He used his spirituality to stimulate a descent. In the blink of an eye, he was back in his room. He saw splendid sunlight pouring in through the gaps of his curtains. He examined his body and made sure the charm wasn't brought back, but left above the grey fog. When I've gotten enough rest, I'll repeat the summoning ritual at dawn to bring the sun charm back. It would be great if I could maintain the state a little longer. That way I could investigate the houses with the red chimneys. It's such a pity I can't do it yet. I could only fly long enough to investigate a few houses before having to return for half a day. The efficiency would just be low. Klein walked before his desk and put out the silent burning candle. As he packed his things, he didn't remove the wall of spirituality immediately. Instead, he sat down and took out a pen and paper to write a letter. A letter to Mr. Azek. After he wrote the salutation of Dear Sir, he pondered for a few minutes. I recently received the news of the 7th pirate admiral, Rear Admiral Hurricane, has infiltrated Backlung. He carries with him a mystical item called a Creeping Hunger. It provides the ability similar to that of a shepherd, which is the Sequence 5 Beyonder that swallows souls and obtains their corresponding powers. It's said that there's a limit to the number of souls that one can let out to graze, but the souls can be swapped. The Admiral seems to have many Beyonder powers, but I'm not sure what he's doing in Backland. The news I received suggests that he might be a very important, very mystical item to make the Admiral a high sequence Beyonder, or as powerful as one. Klein fabricated a source of information to generally describe the situation with the Admiral, but it wasn't like Azek would look for a Nighthawk captain to confirm it. Nagito, thanks for popping by. Klein didn't directly request assistance, but made it seem like he brought up the subject casually to encourage Azek to be careful. Regardless of whether Azek was willing to help or not, it wouldn't hurt to lay the foundation. If Klein eventually needed to ask for help, it wouldn't appear out of the blue. Klein let out a breath slowly and started writing the rest. The mastermind behind all that has happened hasn't taken any action, and I still haven't found any clues. The reason why I'm contacting you so suddenly is to ask for your guidance regarding sacrificial rituals. I came across something recently. With the son's description and Azac's answer to compare, I should be able to try a sacrificial ritual after. By reversing the ritual, I should be able to bestow items. That should be a more suitable ritual for exchange ingredients and items rather than summoning myself. Let's hope that Azac remembers the knowledge about this. He put down his pen without signing his name. There's only one copper whistle, so I'm sure Azac wouldn't mistake the sender. Therefore, to be careful, Klein didn't leave his name. After he folded the letter, he looked at the 3-meter-tall ceiling, picked up the copper whistle from the bed, a little hesitant. Perfect. Let it squat and get the letter. Imagine having universe erasing powers and going to school? What the fuck? Well, yeah, it makes sense because Klein's sequence 8 barely, who's being called upon to help basically fight like a sequence 4 equivalent. And he's like, bro, do you understand? If I looked at him, I would die. Like, what is happening? The whistle didn't produce a sound, but Klein's acute senses noticed that the surroundings turned cold. He activated his vision and saw the blurry yet glistening white bones splurging out of his study desk like a fountain as it rose in height. The white bones quickly gathered together and turned into an illusory yet huge monster. Its head tore through the wall of spirituality and reached somewhere unknown. Klein looked at the white skeleton's thigh and body and its arm that hung down. Seeing its right palm open, the corner of Klein's lips twitched as he tossed over the folded letter. The large bony palm did a sweep and caught the letter firmly. Then Klein picked up the copper whistle and blew again without hesitation. The monster crumbled. In an instant, transforming into bones that fell into the desk before sinking and vanishing. After doing all that, Klein removed the wall of spirituality. In the sudden wind that stirred, he hobbled towards the clothes rack and returned the copper whistle to its original place. Then he quickly walked to his bed and planted his head. The moment his body touched the soft mattress, he fell to a deep sleep. Alrighty, look at that. Made it. Despite how much my throat is hurting, we made it. Eight chapters. That was good. What's the next one? A lesson on mediumship. Very good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't think, since Milos isn't here, I doubt there's any art or anything that I need to check out. All right. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, dope. Thank you so much, everyone. Since I think there's a couple new people here, if you are new and you're interested, maybe check out our Discord. That link is in the description. Other than that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining and for a great stream. And hope you all have a great rest of your day. And yeah, I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm tired. Milo should be very disappointed, yes. Yes, and I think we'll leave it there, guys. Hope to see you again for the afternoon stream. It'll be, again, relatively short. 4 or so chapters. I'll get us to 117 or so, 116, 117. And that way we can push hard tomorrow. Get to 120-ish, probably, and then be dope. All right, that's it, boys. I'll catch y'all. And girls, yes.